want this material burned. All of it.
I wonder who the real cannibals are.
All right, man. We back up in there like swimwear.
What's up, guys?
Gonna start this thing off, man, saying Happy Father's Day, you mothers.
You motherfuckers. Just go ahead and say it, man. Yeah, I hope everyone's had a good Father's Day.
Yeah, man.
I've
Awesome.
never got to see my son today because he's away, but yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hope everyone's
awesome.
enjoying the day.
Had the kids come by earlier, and yeah, and then I was freaking out, rushing, trying to get this shit going, so I had to push it back an hour. So
no worries, man.
Yeah,
like I say, we've got all the time in the world. You know, if you needed more time, would have been fine anyway.
Yeah, well, we had a good visit, man, so that was cool. But today, man, we're going to be talking about a controversial icon, Ruggero Deodato.
Yeah.
And could arguably be, Cannibal Holocaust could arguably be the number one video nasty of all time.
Absolutely. Maybe the number one Italian horror film of all time.
Yeah.
That would be the case for me, I think. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Damn, that's bold. That's a bold statement. I wouldn't put it. It's up there, but I mean, yeah,
it's revolutionary. But we'll come on to that. But 2 of the 3 of these films are in my top 10 films of all time. So that'll tell you how I feel about them.
Right.
Deodato's just probably scrapes into my top 5 directors of all time as well. He's probably past Bava. I know. Don't shoot me, but.
Yeah,
it's probably just past Bava for me.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I can't put him past Bava. Well, of course not. Bava's number 1 for me.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
he's up there, man. He's not in my top 5, but he'd probably be in my top 10 somewhere. But
yeah,
that's hard to sort out, though, man. Any given day, things change, you know.
And there's still quite a few I haven't seen from him as well.
Right. Yeah.
Like Cut and Run, I've not seen.
Oh yeah, Cut and Run's pretty solid, man. Pretty solid. It's got more stars in it in that one, you know.
Right.
Than the usual, what he usually does. But man, the chat's blowing up, man. Let me get to the chat right quick. We got quite a few people in here already. All right, we got my beautiful wife in here. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Hey, Josh.
Definitely. Yeah. JT's horror discussions. You best believe when I see a Deodato anything pop up, I'm instantly
What's
there.
up, JT? Yeah, I'm the same. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah, man. Let's see people talking. Push back an hour. Yeah, unfortunately had to. But we're here now, and we're kind of freaking out there for a second because I was worried about the intro. Holy shit! But
you did a good job, man. You did a great job on the intro.
No, I mean, I was worried about getting it done in time for the stream. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Chris C's in here. Evening
What's
all.
up,
Happy
Chris,
Father's
man?
Day. What's
Yep.
going on, man? Oh yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. David Hess was the man. R.I.P. Yes, and Deodato R.I.P. as well. Rest in peace, man. To both of them.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Radici. He's
And
in.
Radici.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the second film we're going to talk about. But and we got Pat Master in here. Happy Father's Day to all the dads, daughters, and sons.
Hey, Pap.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see. Got Texas in here. What's going on?
Texas in the house. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man. Everybody talking. The panel of pain. Like it, man. Like it. Never
Yeah.
gets old. Ultra violent hippie. What's happening?
Hey, man.
Taking in from Kentucky. Okay, cool. We
There's
got
a
some other
lot
friends.
of Kentucky people that
Yeah, we got some other friends from Kentucky. The Dead Pit and a couple members of the Eurocult. So
yeah, honestly, the community, there's loads of people from Kentucky in this horror community, considering like I don't know, it's a pretty small place in America, and then it's amazing.
Let's see. Everybody talking. House at the Edge of Park is Deodato's masterpiece, in my opinion.
It's a masterpiece, but I think there's two to be considered now today.
Yeah, definitely. Hollow Notes. What's up, Dirk and Darren? Happy Father's Day to you too. Appreciate it, Hollow.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day to you as well, if you're a father, and even if you're not a father.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, how you want to kick this thing off, man? I can explain about Cannibal Holocaust. You want to?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, I see.
Okay. So, there's a lot of first things with this film. So it's the first found footage film. I know Blair Bitch Snot Nose Flashlight gets that title, but it's not. It's Cannibal Holocaust definitely is the father, or you could say the granddaddy of them all, of all the found footage films. I know there's intercut, like real, looks like half the films that way, half of it's not. But it's man, it's, well, like I said, it's the most controversial film ever made, is the title it's got. It was banned, and I think when it first came out, it was banned in 8 countries. It's documentary style filmmakers, a crew of 4, go missing in a rainforest in the Amazon and Colombia. They went to get footage on cannibalistic tribes' way of life. New York University professor and anthropologist Harold Monroe decides to find out what happened and try to bring them home. So that's kind of like the setup of the film, but
yeah, when you say it's the first like found footage, I think that there is other ones out there that come before, but like not to this level. I think, and obviously Deodato said he'd never seen them, I think, anyway. But this took it to another level. I think this is like because with this one, it's such a well-made film. People just see it for the animal violence and all the gory scenes that we see.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a masterpiece in terms of the way it's done, the way it's filmed, and everything. It's
right.
It needs to have more credit for that, I think, rather than all the stuff that comes with it.
A lot of people frown on the animal violence, and I think even Deodato regretted it. Maybe because he caught so much shit over it. But
no, I tell you what, he regretted, and because it's on the commentary track, he regretted it because, like, basically, he was found out. He did it, and apparently, when they were filming the scenes and that, he didn't have no remorse then.
But
Kerman was calling him out big time on that commentary.
Yeah, but also there's a thing about it where he blamed it on the producers.
Right. So
Yeah.
there's a big thing about that as well because he was sentenced to 4 months prison as well.
Right.
Which finally later I think he appealed and I think it was like 4 years later he appealed against it and won. So yeah, there's a big backstory with this one, I think.
Texas says, Darren, there was no way you were asleep last night. I told Dirk to get you on the horn and join the stream last night.
Oh, sorry, man. I was probably up late anyway, doing
Yeah.
research for this. But
Right.
yeah, I'll definitely pop on one. Yeah, in the future for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I figured he was either asleep or working on this shit on what we're doing today.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see, we got Wilkie's Movies and Music. Corey, what's going on, man?
Hey, Corey. Hey, things, man.
But so you just want to go through the film, or you want me to start?
Yeah. Do you want to start off with the actors and
Yeah. So we got Robert Kerman in here. He's playing Professor Harold Monroe. Rest in peace as well. He died in 2018. Yeah. People know him. A lot of people might know him as R. Bola because he did over 100 porns. I think he did 230 films total.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
He's really well known for Debbie Does Dallas 1 and 2. So
it's like some of the titles of those films he's in as well, and he does like 10 in 1 year. I think it's like completely insane. Maybe more.
His first film with Deodato though was the Concord Affair back in '79, and he said that experience was great. I mean, he was just like air traffic controller, kind of playing that kind of character.
Right.
He was in Umberto Lenzi's Eaten Alive, which he said that was a much more pleasant shoot, that he enjoyed it more. He was in Night of the Creeps, 1986.
He's got like a really small role in that, hasn't he? I think he's like some kind of security guard or policeman or something.
And then he was in Spider-Man 2002, Sam Raimi. But yeah, 230 film credits, so that's insane.
I mean, the guy did Cannibal Ferox as well, so he did 3 top level like cannibal films.
Was he in Ferox?
Yeah.
Really?
He was in Ferox as well. I think because he done 3 like within the space of like 2 years, which is like incredible when you think about it.
I'm trying to place him in Ferox. I know he was in Eaten Alive, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in Ferox.
Okay.
I haven't seen it for a while, mine, but
yeah, I'm just trying to figure out.
I can double check.
Maybe I'm blanking. Maybe I'm tripping. I don't know, because I've seen Make Them Die Slowly so many times.
Yeah.
You're probably right, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just having a brain splatter fart. I don't know what the hell's going on, but he's the cop in Ferox. Chris says, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, now it's coming back to me. I know him more for Eaten Alive though. Like he's more prominent role, but
yeah, and this film obviously he's like the lead in this one,
right? But I know he regretted doing porn. He said that this film cursed his career though.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. It probably cursed a lot of.
But I'm thinking also like maybe doing the porn cursed your career too. Like, Yeah,
but it kind of cursed Deodato's career as well for a while. I know with the like those 4 years that he was going through that court case and all that.
Yeah.
Must have been difficult, to get other work and all,
And plus they had to sign the contract. They couldn't talk about. They had to act like they were dead, right? Or no, he didn't. No,
he got like I think all the actors had to basically like
just the ones that died in the film.
Yeah, for like a year and then resurface after about a year.
Right, to keep the rumors and the controversy going.
Yeah,
build it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so him talking about Deodato, he's like he just says what he thinks. He don't have a buffer. He's like I guess he just never learned how to have any couth, is what we'd say down here. But
right, yeah,
yeah.
he goes for him big time in the commentary track.
Oh yeah, he says it on the interview too, on the Grindhouse edition. This edition here, by the way, while we're talking, I'm gonna kind of show that a little bit, but I can't show too much.
Yeah, I got that one as well.
But yeah, he said he felt that it was indulgence one can afford if one wants to be the boss. But if one wants to get work done at an excellent level, the one that's boss needs self-control. He was speaking on Deodato.
Right.
I was like, damn, that's pretty good shit. He said one has to control oneself, basically.
Yeah.
He said great directors seduce actors.
Right.
They don't scream at them and demand shit. He said him and Deodato would argue, and when they start arguing, that everybody would just go to sit down for like 5 minutes because they already knew that they was going to be arguing for about 5 minutes. But he said they ate dinner every night. They were still cool at the end of the day. So I
think
know.
it was like a healthy kind of rivalry, wasn't it? Really, they butted heads and that, but they were still, like you say, still friends at the end of the day, which is the way it should be anyway. I think
it's one of his last interviews, though. It's got to be where he's saying that the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan is probably more brutal than Cannibal Holocaust.
Right? Yeah.
Because you're seeing heads getting exploded and all this shit, but he said, you could vomit your brains out watching that stuff. So,
yeah, we'll come into it, but I do think this film is gets a really unfair kind of reputation because of the animal violence, which has to be included in my view as well. It's not the same film without the animal violence. And Deodato said if he could go back before he passed away, if he could go back and make it, he wouldn't include the animal violence. Yeah. But I mean, he's got to say that, hasn't he? He has to say that. There's no way he could turn around and say, oh no, by the way, I would do it all again. And that's why we're talking about this film today, is because of the animal violence. Basically, it would not have the same reputation.
Well, I don't know, man. Some of that's, I mean, it still holds up. Like, it looks real, Like,
yeah.
When people are getting the things the way it's shot, the way it's edited, all that shit, it just looks real. Like, it's already,
it really does, yeah. And I mean, when I first watched The Blair Witch, right, I knew all that shit was fake, even early on.
Yeah.
But this does, like you say, it just captures it. Like the whole cast is superb, obviously. And all the stuff that goes on, with the found footage reels and all that. It's just stuff that 4 people like that would do. We'll come on to the scenes in a bit, but I mean, it's exactly what you would imagine 4 young people out in the jungle going to, look for these tribes and that would do.
And they've already been shooting some other crazy stuff, like the Last Road to Hell, footage that they show that where they're showing stuff from different countries, people getting executed, and all that was real too. It was showing
I was gonna say,
it shows Vietnam. I mean, it shows some pretty brutal shit in this film.
I think you can see the whole version of that as well, can you, on the Blu-ray or the DVD? I'm pretty sure, because there was an extended version of it.
Oh yeah,
because they only show a clip in the film.
It's on here. It's on this edition.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Deodato said though he was really in the vein of realism,
Yeah.
Is that I'm trying to remember his mentor. Was it Fellini?
I'm not sure. I didn't.
I think it's Fellini. I could be wrong. If somebody knows, set me straight in the chat, because I think it was Fellini though. It was his mentor, and it was all about realism, with Deodato, as real as he could, as real as possible as he could get. But
right, because he made Last Cannibal World, didn't he?
He was very
2 years previous, I think.
He's very disappointed because he said that was the hardest film he ever made, and it really, like, he was really proud of that film, and it just didn't it didn't do as well, you know. It did okay.
Yeah.
It showed on like 86 screens, in I think in the States or in New York, but
Didn't quite have the edge of this film, though. I think that's
no,
and
it's like he
obviously,
perfected it.
yeah,
With this,
he perfected it and went
yeah.
over the top with the gore and the animal violence in this one.
And then the
Because,
score
you
that
know,
goes along with this brutality.
oh
You
man,
got like this
yeah,
beautiful music with this unheard of brutality. I mean, it's like there's people getting raped, there's animals getting killed for real, and you know, it's shocking shit. Like every damn thing in here. Like there's an abortion that
there's some
happens,
crazy shit. Yeah,
thrown in like a hole. It's like so fucked up. Like, you know,
it's like the opening credits. Like, you know, you hear this song, and you would think, shit, that doesn't
yeah,
really fit
lulls,
a cannibal film or anything, but
yeah,
it
it
works
lulls you
on
in.
every level.
Like
Yeah,
like it's gonna be something peaceful and happy and shit, you know. But
right. Yeah, and
no,
it's played at times throughout the film as well. You know, certainly
yeah,
when they're in the like New York setting and they're playing back some of the footage.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's an amazing like 10 out of 10 score as well.
no
Riz
doubt about it. And
Ortolani,
that's Riz, what is it?
Ortolani.
Riz Ortolani, right? Because he
Yeah,
does the
yeah,
score for House on the Edge of the Park
right. An
as well.
amazing composer, man.
But Kerman
Yeah,
was also saying that the plane that they flew in on, that
yeah,
the guys that plane, he thought that they were drug runners because
right,
he said that um, there was no phone, but he could get them to patch. They had a patch to Miami, like from
right.
Columbia,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And so he could make a phone call through that somehow.
The
And
pilot as well, that was in that plane died like 2 years after the film was made as
right,
well.
yep.
And I don't know. I don't know if it was under some suspicious circumstances or what, but could well be by what Dirk just said.
But he said one thing that I distinctly remember that he said, though. He said, I don't think Deodato has a soul. I was like, holy
Yeah,
shit, you know, like he preferred, like I mentioned that already. He preferred Lindsay's shoot of Eaten Alive over Cannibal Holocaust. He said he hates the film because of the rat ear-piercing scream, and he even told him, because he was there, and he told him right when they were finna do it. He's like, you know, you ain't got to kill it, you know, and all this.
right. Yeah,
And they still, like, he knew they were fixing to do it, so he left the set. He didn't hear it, he didn't see it, but he knew it happened, and it pissed him off really bad. But
I mean, yeah, some of the scenes we'll come on to, but
yeah,
for that time, because at that time you would have had like Faces of Death would have been released as well.
yeah,
So a lot of these like Traces of Death and all these type
yeah.
films were coming on the market.
The cannibal films were, you know,
right.
Of course, Lindsay started it, but I won't say that he's got the best film though. Deodato definitely has got the best cannibal film ever made.
This is by far the best. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I would
Lindsay's
say
got some good ones though. You know,
I'd say Ferox is second best that I like. I do like Last Cannibal World as well, but yeah, it's not quite got the same impact as this.
Lindsay's Man from Deep River. I know I beat that over the head all the time, but man, it's a solid one. It really is, and it's the first one. So
yeah. Do you want to go through the film a little bit, Dirk?
Yeah, I was just sorry. I got a lot of stuff on Kerman though.
No, keep on going, man. Just say, you know.
I'm done with Kerman now. I got like everything I had on him. I've finished up now.
But with the cast, like some of the cast, they never really done a lot, to be honest. Like you've got
they're all like no names, and that's what that's what Deodato wanted, you know.
Alan Yates, you know, the only thing I've got of note that he did was Ghost in the Machine in 1993. You've got the girl Francisco Chiadi who plays.
You're talking about Carl Gabriel York?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got quite a bit what he did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I only took when I do them, I usually only take like the horror titles. But yeah, go on,
Yeah.
go
Well,
for it. Go for it.
he did Apollo 13. He was like a sim tech, small role. He was in Idle Hands as a chaperone.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All My Children, fucking Dynasty. Uh, he did 3 national tours. He was a stage actor before Cannibal Holocaust, but he did 3 national tours of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So he was
Oh,
already a
yeah.
seasoned actor to be doing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, he was pissed too. Deodato as well. So,
They all were.
but
They
yeah, I'm
all.
not trying to cut you off, man.
No, no, no. Like,
yeah.
like I say, when we come on to some of the scenes, because I know, Francesca Chiari as well, when they done the turtle scene, she was literally throwing up.
Yeah.
The other guy, Perry Pickernon, I think his name is, the blonde guy, he was like he physically sick as well. He couldn't stand like the animal violence. He had to walk away.
Right.
So, but then you've got Luca Babareschi, who plays Mark. And he was a complete bastard in real life. The one who kicks the pig. He was always coming on to the Francesca, like trying to get in bed with her during the filming. And he was just a real fucking scumbag character. Apparently, he was just didn't give a fuck.
She talked good about him. So I don't
Oh
know.
man, on the interview I seen, she said
She talked good. She said that they got along well because they came from the same town and
right. Was that
that.
yeah? That you're on about the Mark character, yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, she may well have changed her tune now because
Yeah.
what I've read was he was definitely trying to bed her all the way through.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. So, Carl Gabriel York, they had the sex scene in there, right?
Yeah.
Well, and she'd never done anything before this film. This is her first film, and she wanted to go. She told Carl Gabriel York for them to go out in the jungle and go ahead and do it for real before the scene.
Right.
And he said no. He was living with somebody, and he didn't, and it kind of pissed her off. So I was like, damn. Yeah.
Maybe she had the hots for him then, and just couldn't stand the other guy, or didn't want to,
Well, she knew she had to do that uncomfortable scene, but she wanted to be comfortable, I guess, about it. And then he said that he was like involved with somebody, so he was like, "Nah, I ain't doing that," and just out of respect. But he ended up breaking up with his girlfriend anyway when he got home. So
right, yeah.
Because I guess she probably thought that some shit happened. So
that scene looks realistic as well when they are having sex, But yeah,
that was funny too. So, I'm sorry, man. I'm
go
hogging
for it, man.
It's because I got loads of shit on my head about it. The sex scene when they're getting it on or whatever, and all those tribe people are watching.
Yeah.
Right. He said some guy come up to him afterwards. They did 5 takes of that scene, and some guy come up and like nudged him and was like, "Yeah." He's like, 5 times. You did it 5 times. He thought it was real.
Yeah. Right, because some of those, like all the tree people in the film, were actually real cannibals, weren't they? I know they do have some actors in there as well, but most.
I don't know if they're cannibals, but they were definitely natives.
Natives living in the Amazon. But
right.
Yeah, they did have some kind of actors, but which we'll come into. But
that's funny.
So
go ahead.
Go on.
I was saying that's funny how Deodato had to direct them though. The way he explained how he directed them, they didn't have a true language. He said they grunted, and he would have to. He said he figured it out. He started grunting to get them to come.
He kind of learned the lingo a little bit, like as you go. Yeah,
like it wasn't a true language. It was just grunts and shit. So
right, yeah, and I think once you go to a certain part of the Amazon, like they say, no white man has ever come back or ever even like attempted to go a certain, right to the heart of the jungle type thing.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, man, that they had real natives in this. And I think that's why you can tell, like, with the cast as well. Like everything sort of come aligned kind of thing, because the whole cast, the way, like, you know, even the stuff in New York as well, with you've got the executives, the producers of the documentary that they're about to put out. Even like the woman in that is you can see her face when she's watching the footage, and it's brilliant. I think the performances are brilliant.
And that was Kerman's girlfriend at the time.
Right, I didn't know that. I didn't know
that. Let me catch the chat right quick, man. We're getting
we can go through the film then.
Yeah. I still have tons on these. Well, not a whole lot, but I still have quite a bit on some of the stuff. But
I've got quite a bit as well behind the scenes. Mention.
So Chris says I have that same release of Cannibal Holocaust, great one from Grindhouse. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've got it as well.
It's loaded. It's loaded.
Have you seen this version of it? The Ultra Bit version?
I've seen it, but I don't have it. No.
I've got that. I've got the old like Grindhouse DVD. And I've got the one that you mentioned as well.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. That's the essential one.
Yeah, that's the only one to really get. The others,
it's loaded. It's got the soundtrack. It's got, man, just the first 3 or 4 features are like an hour a piece, you know?
Yeah, I need to dive into all of them as well.
Yeah.
Considering this is one of my favorite films, I need to watch all the extras.
Let's see. Ultraviolet Hippie says, rest in peace, Ruggero Deodato. Absolutely, man.
Died not that long ago, actually. Yeah.
Right. He died in December of 2022. So
right. So yeah. He was up there then. He was in his 70s, I would imagine.
But he lived a healthy life. He didn't do drugs. He didn't drink. You know, he outlived a lot of the people that were younger than him that were in his films. So,
but he always looked like he looked after himself in interviews as well. Even towards the end, you know, he was like, you know,
he was quite the ladies' man, though.
Right, I get that as well. Yeah,
but Chris saying rest in peace. Everybody's saying rest in peace, Deodato and Giovanni Lombardo Ricci.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
The opening to Saving Private Ryan is a top tier war opening and is very brutal. Yes. Yeah. I watched Cannibal Holocaust for the first time in nearly 12 years last week, and it still holds up. Oh yeah. I think it's timeless. And
it always will. Yeah.
That woman that played Francesca, she had mentioned that she thinks a big part of it is the clothes they're wearing. They look like something that you could be wearing today if you went to the Amazon. Like,
right, yeah,
you know, nothing's outdated, and that's part of it anyway.
Yeah, I think it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you've got
yes, it is.
all these elements come together.
Yeah,
it's like catching lightning in a bottle.
Yeah,
and
even some of the scenes remind me of Hooper's Chainsaw.
It does, yeah.
Because you see these shrine things,
yeah,
like watches hanging from shit, and then like the cameras when they come up on the dead skeletons. It's
got that vibe, hasn't it?
It feels like Texas Chainsaw, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, this is definition of a grindhouse film for sure.
This is the granddaddy, like you said, of all, not just cannibal films. I think like Italian horror films in general.
I would say any shock film, like
Oh God, it's gotta be number one. Yeah, easily as well. Yeah, as much as I like Ferox, and I do really like Ferox.
Yeah,
but this kind is different.
I saw Make Them Die Slowly first. I saw it first before I saw this one, and I saw it pretty young too. But let's see. Chris says agree. Okay, he's talking to Ultraviolet Hippie. Riz Ortolani's score is great and beautiful, but because of what's happening on screen, it makes the film that much more disturbing. Yes, it kind of
completely agree. Yeah,
it's kind of like fucking with your emotions in a way. Like when
it's weird, like,
you know what I mean?
Like, there's no way that fucking score should work in this context of the film.
Right. Yeah.
But it does, and it puts you like into this uneasy feeling. It's you can't, but it's hard to put into words what that that score is and what it means to the film. It's incredible, powerful.
Chris says New York Ripper from Fulci is way up there too for how brutal the film is. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that, but I still think this is probably worse because it's real.
Yeah, and this is
real.
like, yeah, this could really happen. I feel like, like somewhere in the world. But Ripper could too, in a way, but not today. I don't think you'd get away with that many. Not now, but
right, yeah, there's cameras everywhere now.
Yeah, I do like Ferox a lot too. They're just different. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Mr. York could have gotten some nookie in the Amazon. Yep. Yeah, he could have.
It's weird though. She said that as well with him, but like she didn't want to sleep with the other one, which is kind of weird, man.
But she said that she got along better with him, that guy you were talking about. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they change up after certain time.
I know. Yeah, I know for a fact she definitely turned him down because he was trying to get into her pants. But I know that Kerman, I think it was Kerman or one of the other cast said that he was quite brutal in the scenes where he's kicking the animal. He was really into it. Yeah. So that's where I'm basing the fact.
Are you talking about the pig scene?
Yeah.
Because York was supposed to do that scene. And
exactly. He didn't want to. He
refused to do it because he said he rode in on the boat with that pig. So he kind of like got attached to it or something. And Deodato's like, look, this is they're going to be their food tonight. They're going to eat it anyway. But
yeah, there was no need. There was just no need to kick the thing, before or anything.
Oh yeah, no. I don't agree with that at all. But something else about York though I got to bring up. I thought it was funny as hell. So Deodato, the first week York's on the set working for him, he gets paid in pesos, right?
Okay, yeah.
So he counts out his money, and Deodato shortchanged him $17. So he was pissed off. He's like, "No, I'm getting my $17, and we're not shooting another frame." And Deodato's like, whatever. Kind of like thought he was bluffing, and the dude in York like walked out and was like, "Fuck that! I refuse to do it." He had his money, and he had American money within the hour, $100 bills.
So that would have been a lot of money probably back then as well. Not like $17 back then may have been like.
But Deodato said, "You're bitching about $17. Why are you tripping about $17?" He's like, "No, you're the one trying to cheat me out of $17."
It's probably the principle more than the money anyway. At that point, Oh no, all these Italian directors were fucking shady as fuck. So a lot of them were, and a lot of them had dark sides. And I think, like Kerman, like you said earlier, like described Deodato was like just like a savage. Basically, he just had no kind of emotion.
Yeah, he would come up and he said he don't think there was any kind of insidious, like any kind of malicious intent. It's just the way he was. Like he would come up to Kerman and tell him like that he was too fat. He might need to lose a little weight, shit like that.
Right. Yeah. So he had kind of no.
He was just blunt as hell.
Yeah. So, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
I think I know a couple people like that, but
I know quite a few as well. I think everyone does. Yeah. Right.
But hold on, man. Let me check the chat, man. I see we got some more people coming on in here. Let's see. The blue for Cannibal Holocaust from Grindhouse Releasing includes an animal cruelty. Yeah, definitely. Animal cruelty-free version of the film. It does.
I know he's got highly recommended there, but I don't see the point. I think you need to watch it with the violence to get the full impact.
Yeah, I know that's a controversial thing in itself. Like, you know what I mean? For me, I understand people that might be sensitive to that kind of thing, but for me, I've been hunting since I was 8 years old, so it don't really, I don't know, it don't affect me the same way. But I do understand some of the unnecessary shit. Being mean just to be mean kind of shit. No, but as far as for food, because the Indio people, they ate those damn monkeys every day. They said
Right. Yeah.
And
But
they
there's,
ate.
like you say, there's humane ways of doing it, though, isn't there? Really, rather
There
than
is.
making them suffer,
Yeah,
which is the
there's
worst
some
thing.
shit. I mean, if you look up some documentaries on slaughterhouses, it's some
Yeah.
brutal
Yeah.
shit. Look up some shit on how they deal with chickens. It's fucked up. Like, it's pretty bad.
I mean, I got like my views on it, like with, so say someone's watching this, complains about the animal cruelty and
Yeah,
eats meat, and say they eat meat every day, then
right.
I don't see how they can argue. Like, or do you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
mean, that's hypocritical to me. Um,
I know that. Like some of the things, I guess, like they were saying, like Kerman, he was really pissed about him killing that mouse, that certain
yeah,
kind of mouse or whatever. But but Deodato comes back and says that they would eat that they ate it. So
right, yeah.
nothing was wasted. But I don't know.
Did Kerman know what he was fully coming into though? Like I don't think he knew there was going to be all that
None of
like
them knew.
animal violence or anything.
None of them knew that shit. Like that's why
Right.
they were so pissed off. And like if you ever see them on like a panel at a like, of course they passed away now, but you can
Yeah.
see it on these special editions.
Yeah.
You'll see them on talking about all this stuff. They're
Yeah.
not
It's
happy
great.
with him like about some of that shit. Like
No, man. Yeah,
So
like I keep going back to it, but listen to that commentary, man. It's worth it just to see them two, like, kind of Kerman just calling him out on every single scene, like
are you talking
all the
about with
fight
him
scenes.
and Deodato, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah. Okay.
actually I've heard the commentary. I got notes on it. I've heard it a while back, so I presume it's
Okay.
the two of them. Yeah, two of them together. Because Deodato's actually saying, "Oh, well, I wouldn't have done this now and all this," and Kerman saying, like, basically saying, and don't quote me on this, but he's basically saying you're full of shit. Like, you knew
Yeah, he
exactly
does.
what you were
He
doing.
does. That's the one I
Yeah.
listened to, and I think his daughter's there as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because
been
it's
it's been a
weird with
while, but
Deodato.
yeah.
Like he'll speak English, and then some things he'll just start speaking Italian. So it's like
And he kind of like ignores Kerman in like when Kerman's on about it as well, the violence, the
yeah,
animals, like unnecessary. He kind of
yeah,
ignores him as well some of the time. It's
right.
like, yeah, that was really awkward
He
to
does
get
have a
them to.
point in some ways, though. He said it was different back then, like with the way
Yeah,
things were done. Like I know for a fact, like like my grandfather, he had a bunch of cattle, like, and it was nothing to go kill a cow and
right. Yeah.
butcher it up, and then that was meat for like a long time. You know,
So did he actually do those 4 months in prison, or was it kind of waiting for the appeal?
it was him, Clarice, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Clarice, the producer. I should have wrote the producer's name now, but I don't think they had to do time. I'm not real sure on that, but I know. Yeah, I mean they had to clear the name though for sure.
It might have been a suspended sentence, and then
And he
they
had to
did the
break the
appeal.
contracts of
Yeah.
all the actors to bring them into the courtroom.
Exactly. That's kind of the only thing that really
And they
got him
had to
off
go
in
to
the end.
four different four different judges as well.
Right.
So he
Yeah.
still got obscenity charges.
Yeah. It's that shit that never goes, does it? It's
Yeah,
always on your record.
right.
Yeah.
We got Jamie Hart in here. What's going on?
Hey, Jamie.
Let's see. We got everybody saying, "Hey, reverse psychology trying to gaslight him out of $17." Yeah, right.
Yeah, some shady like shit going on with all these films in the background.
Italian directors are different types of cats. Love them, definitely. They are. They're different, man. All the
That's
way.
what I like about them. They're all characters. They don't give a fuck, basically.
They
They
don't
just come out
like.
and say what
Yeah,
they want.
a lot of Italian cinema in general is pretty over the top. Like it's pushing bars, it's pushing lines. I'm against censorship anyway. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, I understand like as far as like when somebody's getting hurt or something. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah.
against all that shit. But if nobody's getting hurt, the Indio people where they're at in Colombia, they were eating that shit, but
Exactly. I think to this day, I think even in the UK, we still can't get this uncut. If I'm right, yeah, we
Yeah, you're
still.
right. You're
Yeah,
absolutely right.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
Shameless or someone brought it out in a cut version, which is
mhm.
pointless. I think.
I think 88 put it out too on 4K, right?
Oh, it was 88 actually, not Shame. Yeah,
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been Shameless. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, this is probably one of the only ones that's still like that because I know
But
they passed Last House on the Left like a good few years ago.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so this is probably one of I don't know about a dozen that just won't get passed. I think New York Ripper's another one.
oh yeah.
I don't think
And the next
that
one we're
ever.
going to talk about, but
Yeah,
um, so Gianfranco Clerici, I mean, it's pretty amazing all the stuff he wrote though. Like if you think about it, like he co-wrote "Don't Torture a Duckling,"
oh shit, man.
New
Yeah,
York Ripper, Jungle Holocaust, or The Last Cannibal World, uh, House on the Edge of the Park.
man, that's a good to have
That's
on
a
your
pretty good
CV, isn't it?
resume there, right?
Right, yeah,
And
yeah.
another film called Paid in Blood, 1971. I haven't seen that one though.
No, I'm new to that one. But some of the writers and producers and all that, don't get talked about, at all, really.
Yeah,
And you've got someone with that level of a CV behind them, and like basically pretty much no one knows him. So yeah, we should dig into some of those as well on streams in the future. Maybe do some
yeah, we could do
writers and
Gastaldi and
Gastaldi would be number one, wouldn't he?
Sacchetti.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
um,
Luciano, Martino. We could cover some of his films he produced and all that. Yeah.
but
Um.
so yeah, so I mentioned about York, Carl Gabriel York. You can just like when you listen to him speak, man, you could tell this dude like he was a real actor. Like you know what I mean? Like he wasn't
Yeah.
This wasn't his first thing. He was doing theater and like he was but yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
He was
I think I
believable.
mentioned everything, so my bad.
We can go through the film anyway. So if you got
Yeah,
any more to add, just carry on.
yeah, I just wanted to get it out the way right quick. One more thing, I think. So
Yeah.
Francesca Ciardi.
Yeah, that's how I say
So
it.
way I understand it, I think she was from Rome, and Deodato knew her sister or one of her family members is how she got the job, basically.
Right.
And
Yeah.
but she hadn't been in much. She was in a 1991 movie called Safari. This other film called Death Walks in 2016, and again she was pissed off at Deodato for killing the monkey. That's what really pissed her off.
Yeah.
And also she didn't know how much she was going to be nude, especially the final scene.
Yeah.
One of the final scenes.
Well, that final scene, she actually was running away for real. Apparently, she was that.
She
fucking
said that
scared,
those
like,
people were nice though. Like
yeah.
they knew what was going on. But that shit looks real, don't it? It does. It really does.
That's what I was going to say about her performance is amazing because considering she's not done a lot, and you can see like there's fear in her eyes as well. You can see in certain scenes and the turtle scene and all that. Yeah, I was amazed when I realized that she didn't go on to like a much bigger career in acting. But yeah, amazing performance. I think
she was
it
also
must have been
pissed off.
difficult. Like it must have been difficult for her as well, being the girl of the group, as well.
Definitely. And then she got rejected by the Gabe York.
Yeah. So it's going to be a memorable. Well, I know she's done interviews since, and she's always been really nice in the interviews and that. But it must have been a tough shoot. Oh, well, obviously it was a tough shoot, but I mean, some of the shit she had to go through.
She said that she didn't know he was going to film her. Like he made her, that one shot where she's peeing in the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pissed about that too. He made her do it. But
Right. Yeah,
there was a
I can
lot of
imagine.
screaming back and forth with Deodato with everybody. So like,
That's probably why the film works as well, because everyone was stressed and like
yeah,
going through conditions they didn't know what was going to happen one day to the next.
yeah.
And they were coming across all these animals as well, and like spiders and shit and all that. So
They
they
had
must be
people.
on
They did
edge.
have people though that were looking out,
Yeah,
making
yeah,
sure everything. But there was crocodiles. There was all kind of piranha and snakes and all kinds of good shit. You know that and then like I think it was York said that the mud scene where they're in the mud.
yeah.
He said he went to go wash off in the Amazon River, and he had heard that about these certain things that go up any
Okay.
orifice of your body. Why
Yeah.
but he had to do that and clean off shit. So like,
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, that'd been stranger in a strange land for sure, man.
I mean, didn't it take them hours to get to like the center where they were filming as well? Didn't they have like a
They flew
hotel
in.
that was like, yeah, they
Yeah,
had to fly in and
they flew in. I think it took them like an hour though, but
right.
an hour
Yeah.
flying that's pretty far still.
Yeah, yeah. Oh god, yeah, absolutely, man.
But yeah. So I mean, that's really all I got, man. We can go through the film. I just had to.
Yeah, we
mention
don't
some-
have to go through every scene. Like we can just mention some
Yeah.
of the good ones if you want.
Right.
Like just have a general kind of just quickly go through it. So yeah, so you've got a news reporter, right? Reports that there's still cannibals still at large today, but back in that time. So you've got these 4 young people. They go out to the Amazon. Basically, they've not returned. So all these guys then, are kind of like wondering where they are. They're on about doing maybe a rescue mission to try and see if they're stranded in the middle of the jungle. And that's basically how it starts, isn't it? But
yeah, and then you get to see some really foul shit when
oh yeah, so all the
once
way through.
once the
all the way
professor
through.
once he goes with Chaco and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Miguel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go into the jungle and then they witness this it's pretty brutal, man. That like what that guy does, this other
Do you want to
I
be?
guess cannibal tribe guy. He's got his
Yeah.
old lady and he's
Yeah,
like dragging her with ropes and
I mean,
holy-
that scene is
yeah.
fucking brutal as well. And all this was like real, what would happen like in real life. Because that's like all rituals were happening,
Yeah.
Very primitive, obviously.
But so bottom line, she had slept around on him. She slept with
Adultery.
somebody else.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah.
But not just to like treat her like that as well, because without being too graphic, she's basically a giant like dildo is used on her and
Made out of wood, yeah.
Yeah, mud is used on her as well, which is
He
insane.
balls up some mud. He puts like looks like bones, right?
They're
or
like
something.
spikes, yeah, spikes
Kind of spiked
type
bone
of thing,
or
and then they shove that up in nether regions
And
as
he's like
well.
ripping her all up, man. It's
Oh,
pretty,
man.
yeah. It's
And
pretty foul.
just that alone would be like bad enough, but then he goes on and obviously they kill him because they can't, they don't trust them ever again, so they kill him.
Yeah, and he just bashes her head in.
Yeah, that scene, man. So the lieutenant, like he basically, when Robert Kerman's character is going into do the rescue mission, he talks to this lieutenant, and basically he's got the lighter that Faye Daniels once had. So they know, something's untoward has basically happened to all these people. You've got Miguel. Yeah, we are going to mention some of the really bad scenes. So if you're like kind of squeamish and that, maybe fast forward to the next film.
Yeah.
But we're trying not to be too overly graphic. But you've got to talk about the muskrat to start off with. So
Right.
he basically gets this muskrat, Miguel, and stabs it in the throat.
Stabs him in the throat. He says, "We got meat tonight."
Man, the screams of this poor animal is horrific. And that's kind of what you're going into, and it does kind of get worse as well, to be honest. But
that's pretty rough though to start the shit off like you know.
It's it's like
But I
not
mean, for
humane, is
me,
it?
I know it's maybe insensitive of me or whatever, but for
Yeah,
me, I mean, I don't know. It's whatever. I won't touch too much on that because I know people
yeah,
probably
yeah.
get pissed off, but
So you obviously got the scene with the adultery as well, which you just mentioned. The brutal ritual they go through with that. But basically, what that was done, they kind of watched this tribesman, so basically they can go back and follow him. So he'll take them to the Yakumo, and that's basically like Kerman just wants to like get involved, doesn't he? He wants to like go and stop this guy from doing this ritual
yeah.
to her. But like the
And
guy says
Chaco's like,
no,
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 like
no, no, no. And
because
what a great actor as well, that Chaco guy. Yeah,
yeah, because I mean, if he would have done that, he would have had they would have had the whole tribe on their ass afterwards. You know,
right. Yeah, because
you know,
they kind of get caught up where there's basically two tribes at war in the jungle. You got the you got the Shamatari, who are the swamp people, and you got the Yanomamo, who are the tree people, and
right,
they're kind of at war.
right.
Um, and like they stumble upon some
It's
of the
just the
scenes
nature
of
of
them.
man, right? It's
Right. Yeah.
always going to be war for territory. So
like the drugs and gang wars in America, and yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure the
and
UK as well.
every aspect of life, you think about it, it's always war for territory.
Yeah, yeah. So these four filmmakers now are in the middle of the jungle, and what's so like bad about it is so they're basically just setting up scenes. Like, so you've got the Shamatari when they flush the tree people out with the fire. They basically light all their huts on fire.
And they
Um,
try to keep them in and burn them alive and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's done just a stage for that documentary that they were planning on bringing out
right,
because they knew they were going to have something like that's going to make them millions, basically.
right.
If they could have got back, inland and made this documentary, would have made millions. But yeah, they just would set up scenes like not really, not that would happen just to get a reaction out of these tribes people, and it is fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, the shit they're doing to these people is like there's no point in it, man. And Francesca's not really with it, not like that, you know. Uh,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's
she's
why
the
she's
only
such a
one, really.
believable character. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think like Monroe, like when they stumble upon these three people, he kind of saves them, doesn't he? And he's got this kind of tape recorder, and they kind of like pretty much he wants the reels because he sees all the reels from the filmmakers, and he wants to exchange it for the tape recorder because they think he's some kind of god or something, or got some kind of power because he
yeah.
can replay this.
And then they
Yeah.
got to eat with him, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's like, you
Yeah.
just invited us to dinner, like,
And
and
he's
they
got to
just hung
basically,
somebody. You
yeah,
just see
yeah.
them. They just hung somebody, so they're fixing to. Everybody finna feast, you know.
They kind of just hand him this piece. Like, is it like liver or something? Or like, and
Yeah,
Kerman's got to like bite into it just to show that he's willing.
right.
Um, yeah, you've got the scene where Monroe as well. He strips off in the water to try and basically say that I'm one of you guys. I'm just like you. I can be fully naked. And you get all the tribe's girls coming into the water then, and they have a bit of a play around. And while this is going, because this is kind of like the first reel we're watching, because back in New York, the American broadcaster and Monroe, they're planning to make this documentary, like we said at the beginning, and it's going to be made from the found footage of all the, the footage they find. And Dirk mentioned earlier the last road to hell as well.
Yeah,
All that
that
shit was real.
that's some pretty rough shit. And I mean, it does remind me of back in the day. Like I guess I was a sick little bastard seeking shit like that out to watch.
I think
Like
we all were at some point, and then kind
so,
of regretted it when we did.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah, just to go like the first time I saw this film actually was on like a third or fourth generation like VHS back in it's obviously the 80s, and it was even more powerful that way because it
I
looked,
didn't see this probably till like
oh
the mid
man,
'90s. I saw Ferox first though, or Make Them Die Slowly, like probably late '80s when I saw Make Them
right.
Die
You
Slowly.
saw Ferox before me then,
Yeah,
because with this one, it can't. If you think it looks real now on Blu-ray, which it does, you imagine watching that like third, fourth generation. I was generally, and there was no internet either, so I thought this is fucking real. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
But it does hold.
Well, there
up
still
even
wasn't no
today.
internet when I watched it, so like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah. But like you say, it holds up. It holds up, you know. But Alan, you know, Alan Yates, the main guy, he is pretty much just this ruthless son of a bitch, isn't he? He'll do anything. He'll even go as far as to like towards the end, he films the demise of his fellow filmmakers just because he wants to keep the fucking camera rolling. I
and
mean,
that's
it's
something
insane.
Kerman kind of touched on as well. He said, I don't know if I buy that part of it. Like, he really shit all over the film. You know?
I don't know, because of that character. That's the way that character was, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's thinking ahead all the time.
He was thinking, like, in that situation, he thinks that he would be getting the fuck out of there. Not,
he would, you would, and I would. But I mean, the way that Yates guy was just his character throughout the whole film, I actually could buy it that he would be like that.
Yeah, I could too, because of the way they were. Like, plus they'd been there for a while. You know, maybe their mind kind of snaps them after all this crazy shit they did to people. Like, they killed a bunch of people too, man. I mean, it's fucked up.
It is insane, man. Yeah. You've got to mention the turtle scene. We don't have to mention too much, like, but
we gotta mention. We gotta, yeah.
Go on.
The pole scene.
Oh yeah. The way that was done is amazing.
That's still kind of like that part of the film really kind of this disturbing to me though, because I think that was a 14-year-old girl.
Right. Yeah. And do you know what? Do you know what I find even more like fucking disturbing about that scene?
What?
I think the filmmakers actually fucking posed her that way, set it up just to like for the footage, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that was a real tribe that killed her. I think the actual fucking filmmakers killed her and put her on this, you know, on this pole and set her up just for footage for the documentary. I know people might disagree, people might have different views on that, but that's the way I seen it.
Yeah, probably so, because I don't know though. I mean, that is a question mark about it, right?
Yeah,
but the actual effect of it. That's one thing you can say whatever you want to say about Deodato, but he set some shit up. Like, he's like a master of shock images. Like, fucking shit, man. That looks so real. And
it was done with a. Go on, explain.
He's sitting on a bicycle seat, and then the other part. So he's got, there's like an eye hook on her back, and it's a pole comes over, and the way it's filmed, the way it's shot, you don't see none of that, and the pole is in her mouth, so it looks like it's going all the way through her, but she's sitting on a seat. She's sitting on a bicycle seat.
That's got to be one of the greatest effects ever made.
Guess how much Deodato said that cost to make that happen?
Probably not a lot. Now, the way you said that it was done,
right? $10.
$10, man. And didn't that she was an actress they had to bring back as well, didn't they? To court,
yeah.
I presume, because they actually thought she was really dead because it's so realistic. I think anyone who's seen the film,
but I think
you know, should Google it.
I still kind of disagree with that though, because she was 14. You know.
Right, yeah.
That is a little cringy, a little bit, but
it is you know, obviously naked and all that, but like you say, you couldn't do that shit now. You just couldn't do it.
No.
So yeah, the you know, we've got to mention the turtle just a little bit, but
yeah.
So they capture this turtle, this poor turtle man, and they just cut the head off it, cutting the limbs, and it's moving the limbs, and it's fucking disturbing. Like Faye, the actress, Francesca, she was physically sick. The blonde guy, I think he just walked away. He just didn't, even though he's in the scene and he had to do it.
Wasn't that tortoise like 100 years old or something too?
Yeah.
It's pretty old.
Yeah. because I don't think Alan Yates, that one, the one he was asked to do, was it, Alan Yates? Alan Yates was asked to do the pig, I think Dirk said earlier. But the blonde guy apparently did it, but like he was like physically like sickened by what he'd done afterwards.
Right.
But yeah, we don't have to like go too much into it.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty graphic if you've never seen it. If you can't handle it, like we said, you can see the animal cruelty free version.
Yeah.
Grindhouse releasing. It's on this edition. I'm sure it's on the 88. 88 Films has a 4K out too, right?
Yeah. I don't have it. I think it's probably cut. Well, it is cut, I think, but yeah, probably. You got the giant spider scene as well with Faye. I think it's a Black Widow, and it's
that wasn't a real spider though.
Wasn't it real?
No.
Oh, okay. It looked
wasn't
good
real
to me. It looked good to me.
It's
supposed to have been a Black Widow.
No, and that wouldn't I don't know about over there, but like Black Widows here, we got them here, and they look nothing like that. Black Widow, it has a red hourglass,
right?
On its back or on its belly. I thought it's on its back. It's got a red hourglass, but that looked more like a tarantula or like a wolf spider or something.
I was thinking tarantula, yeah, because when I was reading up on it and they said Black Widow, or maybe they were on about a different scene because they said they had to take the poison or venomous out of it. So maybe
she got stung by an insect, or one of them got stung by some kind of insect.
That's what it was saying. Yeah. That's what it was saying. It must have been.
But it wasn't a spider though. But
okay, yeah.
For them to only get stung by one insect the whole time they're there, it's pretty damn. Unless they just didn't talk about little bullshit mosquitoes or whatever,
Right? Yeah. But one of the scenes for me, which I find even more disturbing, right, than the turtle, is the amputation scene, the leg.
Yeah.
So Philippe, it's Philippe. Yeah, he gets bitten by this snake.
Yeah.
And they gotta amputate his leg.
My leg! My leg!
Yeah, my leg. Yeah. And like with this fucking machete.
Yeah.
And don't they like heat it up as well to try and like seal the wound? It is fucking
cauterize the wound.
Yeah, it's gnarly as fuck.
And I mean, with the machete, dude, like if you're cutting through bone, that's you're not gonna cut. Like it was pretty realistic because it's not gonna be one chop and it's done. You know what I mean?
I mean, the guy. There's no way that guy would have survived anyway, like on one leg in all that terrain. So why they seem to like? This is my thing with it. They seem to get off on the fucking fact.
The one guy does, don't he?
Yeah,
he's like holding him down. He's all like, he looks like he's really.
He looks like he's enjoying doing it.
Yeah,
and that's what makes it even more disturbing.
I think that's part of the effect of the film, though. That's what it's saying. Like we're seeing these cannibals, but these filmmakers, these people from civilization, they're the true monsters. Of the two groups,
And the funny thing about the guy who played that Philippe, the one who had his leg amputated, he basically, something happened with him and the tribes people. So after shooting the film, he went back in there to kill off some of the tribes people. He had like a major ongoing like argument with Deodato as well. He told Deodato if he ever comes back to Colombia, he's gonna fucking kill him.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's insane, man.
Yeah, he said Deodato said that out his mouth. He said it in the commentary. I remember hearing that.
Yeah. That's why I took notes on. That's what I. It's insane when some of the stuff that was going on, behind the scenes. Like you say, you got the monkey. I guess his like face kind of just sliced off, innit?
Yeah,
and then they kind of drain
monkey
the blood.
brains, but it's a delicacy over there. The monkey brains. He said the guy that did it was real excited to do it.
And, God, man!
Because he was gonna get to eat some monkey brains, So the Gibbons, they call them the Gibbons monkeys, and they ate them all the time over there. So
and in China, innit? I think they did don't like Faces of Death as well.
Now that you mentioned that, so Deodato also said that that was the reason was the producers made him shoot those animal violent death scenes for the Asian market because the Asian market demanded it. Like they knew that it would do well, and it did. It did very well in Japan. It made 21 million in Japan, and 21 million US dollars in Japan. And just to put it in like perspective, ET made 31.
Right, crazy, man.
So like saying like because Cannibal Holocaust didn't come out to what 82, right?
Right, yeah.
Like so, like for the majority release anyway, but
they are over there as well. They are kind of extreme people in there. The Asian, they like you've got all the Mondo Canny films that was made before this as well.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of like real life documentaries. If anyone wants to check them out, they're not for everyone, so I wouldn't recommend them. But
so I imagine there's some truth to that though with the Asian market. With the
yeah, some of those Asian people, like I don't want to like come on here and say too much, but yeah, I can believe it because films like that have always done well over there, even today.
Yeah.
Like they got some of the most extreme gore and all that, even being filmed today. Like they kind of, I don't know, as a race, I guess they can just tolerate it more than us. I guess the violence.
Let's see. Let me catch the chat right quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
We got. Let's see. Everybody saying, "Hey, Cat 3 films are the Hong Kong version of Italian films, in my opinion."
I need to watch some more of them, to be honest.
I mean, I'm like hit and miss on them. For me,
yeah, I am as well.
It's like I tried to watch the Riccio or whatever.
I love that one.
It's not my thing. It's just not my thing. See, Ultraviolet Hippie said, the only thing I find unfair about Cannibal Holocaust reputation is that people act like Deodato was the only one to abuse animals in his films when countless other Italian directors did it too. Yeah, Lindsay did.
That's a great point. Yeah,
Lindsay did too, man. I absolutely.
And like you say, some of the actors did it as well, and they don't get no grief for it. But Deodato was getting constant,
Yeah.
And I suppose rightly so. It's the whole thing with like the John Landis thing with Twilight Zone. He's completely responsible, in my eyes. I don't want to get off on on that film, but the director's completely responsible for everything that happens, on camera or what's filmed. So, yeah. But then again, this, we wouldn't have this today if he didn't. So I'm in two minds about it. I'm not a big, I don't kind of condone the animal violence at all. But I do think
I don't see anything wrong with hunting at all. But like, just to do it. No, I'm not really with that. So
right, yeah.
Ultraviolet Hippie says the muskrat, turtle, and pig deaths fuck me up.
They're the three main things, I think. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see. Chris says Jess Franco did animal cruelty in a few of his films, too, Bloody Moon being one of them.
Yeah, the snake. He cut the snake in half, didn't he?
The other part of that island was burned during the filming of Apocalypse Now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Ultraviolet Hippie says the impaled woman is one of the most grotesque and disturbing images in the history of horror films. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Even now, it's powerful.
And especially when like that's a 14-year-old girl. Like that's even worse.
I didn't even know that till you mentioned it. I presumed she was like 16 or 17. I thought, but no, that makes it even more like creepy.
Right. The Wild Guy says, "Hey guys, hope all is good.
Hey,
Autopsy and also House on the Edge of the Park this weekend. Great stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, good double feature that. Yeah.
Let's see. Rob Romano, the Lost Boy. What's up, Dirk? What's up, all of you fine people in the chat? Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Let's see. Everybody saying, hey. All right. Let's see. let's see. Damn, 21 million in Japan. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge in the Asian market, man. Like Deodato said. So bringing that up, are we segueing into the house on the edge of the park now? Or
yeah, because I guess we don't want to completely give everything away anyway at the end in case people haven't seen it.
right?
But yeah, we can do. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, unless there's more you wanted to talk about.
Let me just quickly see. So I've got some stuff. But the same man on the film on Cannibal Holocaust was actually a spy, and he told journalists after the film was made that Deodato had killed someone on set, and that was like a big rumor apparently.
Oh damn!
Time. Yeah, there's loads of little things like that.
I wonder if that was like a rival film studio.
I think it's just such an infamous film that so many rumors and shit that's gone around this. It turns up in one of those cursed films, doesn't it? That I think Shudder done. Yeah,
it's definitely a cursed film. There's a lot. Oh god, pretty much everybody involved had no career afterwards.
But yeah, like I say, I could be pretty much done. I will say to definitely check out the ending, and obviously, it's minor spoiler, but it's not going to end well, obviously. And some of those scenes that are shot towards the end are so realistic looking.
So check out Cannibal Holocaust,
highly
the most controversial film ever made.
I did want to show this off, Dirk, a minute as well.
Yeah.
So there's a book, Cannibal Holocaust: The Savage Cinema of Ruggero Deodato.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I wouldn't highly recommend this, but if you're looking for like an in-depth kind of
not for everybody. But people in the Italian horror cannibal films, definitely.
Yeah. It doesn't go in depth, but it does give you all the the cast and like a little mini review of each title. So it's nice to have. It's kind of a hardback book, so if you can get hold of that, then go for it. But yeah.
Okay. Hell yeah.
This could be a long show actually, because
yeah, definitely.
I love this next one as well, just as much.
Let's see. Fat Pig the Conqueror. What's up, guys? Hope everyone had a good weekend. Yeah, man. It's been pretty damn relaxing after a long week, and hitting it hard tomorrow. So it's gonna be another long week for me. Ultraviolent Hippie says I give Cannibal Holocaust a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. And in my opinion, it's a must-watch film if you're a gore hound. Yeah. And I also think just for the whole experience, like what Deodato. So it's also about the Red Brigades, right? We didn't even touch about that.
Right. Yeah.
So do you know much about that?
Not too much.
Politics? Because Kerman said he didn't understand it at all. Like he said, I think it's a bunch of bullshit that just Deodato just wanted to, shock the shit out of everybody and make a film. But what I think is this is like the one film, like, because I'm totally against censorship of any kind. Like, unless it's involving hurting somebody, which people argue about the animal violence and all.
Unless it's like children, really, for me.
People. Shit.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was a snuff film, right?
Yeah.
They really did. So, but highly recommend it. Like, what do you give Cannibal Holocaust?
Off the chain 10. And that's never going to change for me. It's in my top 10 films of all time. So that speaks for itself, I think.
I gotta give it an 8.5 out of 10. It's
okay. That's low. I thought that's quite low.
That's not low. 8.5. Shit.
Yeah. No, I was expecting you to come in at 9 or 10 actually, but yeah.
Yeah, 8.5's pretty solid, I think. It does have a couple things that I mentioned earlier, like why it's not a 10. Like, I know you're on the other side of the fence on the what we were talking about. Like, the filmmaker still filming until his last death. You know, like my ass be gone. I'd be gone out of there, man. Like I don't know if I can.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that as well. That kind of takes them out towards the end. I don't know. It works for me, but yeah. I don't know. I think it's a masterpiece. I don't think there's not many better examples of how you can make, and to think of the budget as well, and like there's no big time actors involved at the time. Because even Kerman is big in porn, obviously, no pun intended, but even like there's no real big actors because obviously they had to, like you say, they had to do them with obscure actors anyway to try and make it believable. No, it's a masterpiece. It's a masterclass, I think.
It is, man. It's shot really well. It's edited perfect. The score is awesome. Even like the actors, they're no names, but they all do a great job. The realism is a 10 out of 10. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
There's not another film that looks as real. Those are pig intestines.
Yeah.
That they're using a lot. I mean, a lot of these filmmakers do that, but man, I gotta take a break for a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you good, or do you need to go too? Or...
No, I can talk if you want for a little bit.
Okay. All right. I'll put you on then.
So yeah, so obviously I just said this is a 10 for me. Like people in the chat as well, if you can like let us know what score you would give this. I do think it's one of the greatest films ever made. Show off. There's Cannibal book I can show off as well, which is pretty good. Covers. Let me see if I can pull up Holocaust. This has got everything in it. Absurd. It's got Ferox. It's got. I don't want to show too much nudity. But if you can get hold of this as well, Dark Side, like is a magazine in the UK, but they made this book. You can get it for like 20. Also, Deodato did an interview in this magazine. I have Cannibal Man. Dark Side magazine is like, I think it's like 4 or 5 pages basically of an interview with him. And you can get these pretty cheap, like on eBay and that, the past issues. They've always got some kind of Italian actors and directors in there. But guys, let us know what you think on this next one as well. House on the Edge of the Park. It's the old Street Show release. I do have the newer one as well, which is just
yeah, man. Yep, House on the Edge of the Park, man. That's
yeah,
where we're at.
Yeah.
Or what's the other title? House of the Park or some. I forget what it was. It's
I'm not sure. Actually, I didn't write that.
It's a House of the Park of the Edge or some weird shit. It's pretty much the same title, just rearranged or something.
I wish on the Blu-ray, right, they'd have gone with that cover though, because I love that image.
Yeah. Oh, they did.
Did they? Yeah. Oh, right. You mean they didn't do it on the slip cover itself though.
No, not on the slip. But
yeah.
But then I like this artwork as well. Check this out. Which I know you got the same exact release. This one, I kind of dig that.
Yeah, I do as well.
With the door crack.
Yeah.
With
the straight razor.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is another labor of love for me. This covering this one.
Now this one is so Deodato. The thing about this film is, he said it's more shocking to him than Cannibal Holocaust.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's what he said.
I can see that in a way.
Especially, and then I think it was is it Radici that said that there was too much sex in the film. But I don't know. I disagree. Like I don't know. It's
Yeah, it's just it's hard to explain what even type of film this is. Like you could call it like a home invasion at some point.
kind of, but it's like it's a trap too. So it's but without going too deep into that.
Yeah, I don't know how far you want to go with this one because I don't think we should give away perhaps the why this is happening really, but we can definitely go through a lot of the good scenes and all that good stuff.
For sure, man. I got hold on, let me catch the chat right quick.
That's a chat, yeah, and we can
chat's blowing up, man. I appreciate
nice
everybody.
to have people. Yeah, nice to have you in there.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I appreciate everybody commenting, and if y'all think about it, just go ahead and some of that. But so I'll catch the chat right quick. Let's see. All right, let's see. Darren bringing out the goods. Yeah.
I was showing off a book I got as well when you were in the toilet.
Okay. I used to be obsessed with Cannibal Holocaust. It was one of the first Italian horror films I fell in love with.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
It's got a lot going on too, man. Like I still need to dig more deeper into the Red Brigade politics of terrorists, what that's about, what Deodato was trying to say. But I think at the heart of the film, it's basically, there's cannibals everywhere. Not just like there's really, the people that came to the jungle were probably worse than those cannibals were.
Right. So there's an interesting point there. So I actually think the ending to Cannibal Holocaust is very similar to the ending of this film.
Yeah.
The fact that, it is. The savages are not just who you think they are,
Exactly.
So I'll just say that,
And also, I'll say this. That's what I was going to mention to segue into this film. So they thought that Cannibal Holocaust was going to be 180 million lira, right?
Yeah.
It ended up costing 110 million lira. So Clerici and a producer reached out to Deodato and was like, well, this producer reached out to him and said, hey, let's make another film. And then Clerici said, I already got Deodato was in New York anyway. I'm kind of like all over the place a little bit. Deodato was in New York anyway. So Clerici called up Deodato and said, do some night shoots of the city of New York, right?
Yeah.
And he said, what for? And he's like, don't worry about it. It's going to be a surprise. That's what Clerici told him.
Okay.
And
yeah.
So he did that. And then that's how they made this film, because they had leftover money from Cannibal Holocaust, which is insane to think.
It's insane to think.
Same year they were
made.
Yeah.
I was going to say to make two classic horror films, very different films, obviously, in the same year, man. It's just unthinkable. It's like Fulci probably, or even Argento didn't make two in a year. Like Fulci's the closest I can,
Martino.
You can say to that. Martino, yes, he did do actually 3 or 4 jollies in the space of a
probably
year.
Deodato. I mean, Joe D'Amato might have done that.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But like, it's just insane. But Deodato said he was very excited to do it because this is the first time he ever did 2 films in a row like this.
Right? Yeah. Because Lamberto Radici said basically Deodato was in a hurry. They took 3 weeks to film this. That's all they were given basically, and he was always in a hurry to get things going. You couldn't really sit down and talk to Deodato.
They had 3. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. They had 3 weeks to film in that villa, and they got it done in 2 weeks, I think.
Okay, yeah. It doesn't show in the film at all. With this one as well, I do want to pretty much go deep as well, because there's some scenes I do want to cover. So I'll say up front, like, you know, we might spoil like quite a bit of this.
I will. I'll hit the spoiler warning beforehand, though.
Okay.
How
Yeah,
about
because
that?
I feel there's definitely points towards the end.
Well, we're not going to spoil it yet.
No. But
when we get to that point, I'll go ahead and hit the spoiler and let everybody know. Ring the alarms and shit, you know. And
yeah, because this is too good a film to like not talk about certain parts.
And this is also a video nasty.
It is, yeah. This was
so back-to-back video nasties for Deodato, man.
Yeah, but do you know how many minutes was actually cut from this film?
11 minutes and 43 seconds.
It's insane, yeah. It's
in
like
the UK.
A completely different film.
Yeah. They cut out all the violence and nudity and rape scenes out of the film.
I bought that DVD as well, expecting, like, you know, this is before I was really into it, like finding out all the uncut versions and all that.
Yeah.
So I was I've watched it and I was kind of like taken aback to why people were, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the film's 91 minutes as it is, and then you cut another 11 minutes out of it.
11 minutes, and it was all the good stuff as well. So yeah, I kind of changed my opinion when I watched the
and
uncut version.
It wasn't released in the UK until 2002, which is
right.
Kind of crazy, you know.
And it's still to this day. I think has it got a Blu-ray now? I think it's just recently got a 4K or a Blu-ray.
Put that out too.
Yeah. I didn't upgrade to it, but yeah, I think it's been passed then uncut.
Is that one cut?
I'm sure
it's not
it
cut?
might be. No, I think it might be cut. I think that's why I held off on it, if I remember rightly. Now I'm trying to remember.
It makes sense because I mean, who wants to watch that version?
Yeah, it's cut. I remember now, because I would have, obviously, you know, I'm such a big fan I am of the film. I would have double, triple dipped or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I remember it is cut now. Yeah.
Yeah, but so it's, you know, Sergio Deodato, the cinematographer. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn. His cinematography
it's insane. Yeah.
I forgot who did the cinematography Cannibal, because they're different.
I didn't write it down, the cinematographer for Cannibal.
Yeah, I don't always write it down, but I touched I should have wrote it down. He wanted a certain look for Cannibal Holocaust, but in this film, I think it amplifies the film, definitely. Like the way it's filmed. I'd say it's a spiritual sequel to a spiritual remake of Last House on the Left, and I think it's marketed that way. Like, it was pretty brilliant if you think about it.
So like David Hess mentions that, doesn't he? Basically, there's an unofficial trilogy, right? So you've got Last House on the Left, 72. You've got this one, 1980, and you've got Hitchhike. 1975, I believe.
Hitchhike. I didn't write the year down, but yeah.
Hess calls this one a B film, but he always calls Hitchhike, he said, was the A film.
He said it's an A film. Yeah, definitely. Because it's got Franco Nero.
Yeah.
And the actress, I can't remember her name, but she's
Chlorine Kelly, I think it is. Clary.
Clary.
And the director as well, which I'm blanking on his name, but he's like a highly regarded. But sorry, if I cut you off, what was you going to say? Sorry,
I was just going to say, do you want me to read a synopsis? I wrote a synopsis out.
Yeah, man, go for it.
Okay. So, a car garage mechanic, serial rapist killer, and his mentally challenged best friend Ricky plan to head to the disco when a rich couple pull in needing help with their caddy. Alex is ready to go, says the garage is closed, while Ricky fixes their car very quickly. They're both invited to a well-to-do party in Jersey, but first Alex grabs a straight razor. So that kind of sets the film up, you know.
Oh, God, yeah. Absolutely, man. Yeah, I don't know if you want to mention some of the actors or do you want to go straight into it and then we'll talk through. It's entirely up to you.
David Hess. He did Last House on the Left.
Yeah.
He did Swamp Thing 82. And that's actually the first film I ever saw David Hess in, was Swamp Thing, 1982.
Wow. I've never
Yeah.
seen that. Not to this day, I've never seen that one.
Body Count. You know,
Yeah.
don't watch that right away. You know, like watch all his other films. I would say.
I mean, if you want to watch a Friday the 13th knockoff, then it does the job. But don't go expecting anything.
But it's
like
one of his most
great
poor performances. It's not the best Hess. You know what I mean? Like
right, and that's Deodato as well. So yeah.
Hitchhike 1977. That's what it was.
Absolute classic.
He was in Armed and Dangerous with John Candy.
Oh shit!
He was just a gunman.
Yeah,
he was just a gunman. That's like a little small role.
Okay, yeah.
He was in an episode of Knight Rider.
Shit.
It was a short notice kind of deal, but I didn't know that shit either.
So. No, I'd love to dig that out and watch that. Obviously, he plays a villain, I would imagine, or some kind
of. His name was Donnie in that one. So
okay, yeah.
Okay. But
yeah, the cast is amazing. I think in this as well.
You want to mention the rest of them? Or
yeah, go for it if you want. Yeah. No, you can.
Okay. Then you got Annie Bell, who plays Lisa in this.
Man. Yeah.
She's a French actress. She was in Jean Rollins' Lips of Blood, 1975. She was in a film with Antonini. Is that how you say it? Margheriti?
Antonio Margheriti.
And Antonini, I think.
Antonini, is that? I don't know.
Some shit like that. Margheriti. Anyway, Tiger Joe. She was in that film.
Okay.
She was in another film called Liar's Moon. It's got Matt Dillon in it. And she was a Nurse Nancy in that film. And of course, in Absurd, as the Joe D'Amato joint, she's Emily with the fried head in the oven.
That's a head put into an oven.
Right.
She's also in some of the Emmanuel films, which some people will know her from.
Yeah.
Completely amazing looking actress. Probably she's up there for me personally. She's up there with the likes of Boucher and Fanice.
It's funny. I know we're kind of rambling a little. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Sorry.
No, go for it, man. Go for it.
Deodato's. It's funny though. Like when I heard Deodato talk about her, he was like, I was never really attracted. He's like, she's very pretty, but I wasn't attracted to her.
There's no way.
And then I think maybe she might have rejected him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he said, I think she was bisexual or some shit, but I don't know. I didn't know what that had to do with anything. But
I mean, if you go back and you see some of the scenes, which we're going to mention in a bit, of her naked, there's no woman back in 1980, 81 that looks as good as her. I don't think. I think she's right up there, one of the best looking women of that time period. You know, because Finesse and all them were 10 years previous, probably in their prime.
Yeah. She's very short too, right? She's got to be maybe not even 5 foot. I don't know.
Right. Do you hear what Hess said about her? So
yeah, that was a real scene with him.
Oh God, yeah.
With him and her.
Not just that. He said she was very snobbish. She had this snobbish kind of persona. But he said anything went with her. She would have just done anything. Which obviously, they have sex for real in the film.
Yeah.
But he said she was petite, very sexual, and she had this kind of teenage snobbery about her, even though she's 20, 21. But yeah, what a performance, I think. This is another one. I think most of them are good performances. There's maybe one or two not so quite so good. The guy from Tenebrae, Christian Borromeo. I don't think he's great.
That's what I was fixing to mention. Christian Borromeo.
Yeah.
He was also in Murder Rock as Willie.
He plays the dancer in Murder Rock. Yeah.
And he was in another film called Stigma, 1980, but I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen. I've heard of it, but he's well known for Tenebrae. He plays Peter Neal's assistant. He plays in that.
You got Giovanni Lombardo Radici, this is his first role in a film. Yeah. And I think he does a great job. I mean, he really does, man. And I didn't know if you knew this or not, but he stole this role from Michele Suave.
Right, yeah.
He also stole the role of Bob from City of the Living Dead from Michele Suave.
That's right, yeah. And
So,
like how he got this role as well, right? So he was basically into like a lot of theater acting, and he was planning on doing some kind of like performance or basically Deodato's mother-in-law, who's the mother of Silvia Diononzo, the Italian actress who Deodato married. She's in Murder Obsession. So his mother-in-law basically contacted Radici and said, "Look, I think you'd be perfect. You've got the right face, everything I'm looking for to work in films." So he basically was like had no money at the time. You know, he's trying to put on some kind of production, and he said, "I'll walk on my fucking hands, like if I have to. You know, tell me what I got to do, and I'll do it for money."
He said he used to, hang out with people similar to Hess's character. Not quite to that level of like no killers, but like drug pushers, and he was pretty down and out. But he came from a wealthy family, though, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I know Hess did. I don't know.
Okay, Hess. I'm mixing them.
Yeah.
My bad.
Because them two, you can tell in the film, the chemistry between those two guys are great, Radici and Hess. And they were really good friends as well, apparently.
Yeah, Radici put that to rest too, because people have commented that in the film, like that they were homosexual with each other. And,
right? Yeah.
And Radici said, "No, I don't believe that at all. That between those two characters,
that's been debunked. I don't believe that either. I can see why people would try and mention it, but nah, he's more of like an older brother or like a father figure.
It's older brother, younger brother kind of relationship.
Yeah. And the two of them work so well together, which we'll come into, man. Such a great double performance, like. I mean, most of them are, apart from that blonde guy I said, did I? Sorry.
You cut out for a second.
Back now?
Yeah, you're good. Let me catch the chat right quick, man.
Yeah.
Try not to ignore the chat.
No, you don't want to let it build up anyway, really.
Right. Yeah, man. If y'all, you think about it, go ahead and just do the dang shit.
That's brilliant.
Or maybe some of that. All right, yeah. I didn't lose any viewers, so that's pretty amazing. All right. So Christy says, "House at the Edge of the Park, 9.5 out of 10." Okay.
Can't argue with that, but it's a 10 for me all day.
Hess best performance next to Last House, in my opinion. Yeah,
I think this is better. Like again, it could be controversial. I think this is a better performance than Last Days.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I don't know.
He's got more to do in this than Last House. I think.
But Krug is, he come out of nowhere with that character. Like, and this is basically an updated version of Krug. Like,
yeah. He said that, didn't he? Yeah, he actually. Right. I think all three characters from Hitchhike as well, they're kind of like the same character, but just kind of in different forms over the years, like basically.
Right. He said, and we got Ultraviolet Hippie says, kind of hate the House on the Edge of the Park. If there's an Italian language version out there with subtitles, please let me know, and I might be willing to rewatch it.
I'm not sure, actually.
I don't think so, because Deodato shot this in English. That was like a big deal with him.
Yeah.
He wanted all actors to speak English, but that's odd though, because I know a couple of them didn't speak English. Right? Like
it's very weird, yeah. Because when he just says that now, Ultraviolet Hippie, I'm like, shit, you are right. I don't think there is a Italian.
No, I don't think so either, because I think I've tried to watch it in Italian, and Christian Borromeo, I don't think spoke English, and I know that Deodato's girlfriend at the time, the black supermodel chick, she spoke French, so
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of weird. Yeah.
That was weird that Deodato, maybe he misremembered or something. But Fat Pig the Conqueror says, I rented a house on the edge of the park when I was in junior high and wasn't expecting it. This is before I knew who Deodato was. Yeah.
Oh shit, that would have been some kind of experience, like in junior high watching it.
No shit.
Man, this freaked me out when I was like fucking 30 odd. So I can't imagine like being that age watching this.
Fat Pig the Conqueror says, I rewatched it a few years ago and it wasn't as nasty as I remembered though. Yeah.
Oh shit, it's nasty, man. Yeah. I would say, but yeah.
I don't think because me and you talk about this on a couple of films anyway. Now, to me, this one is not really as sleazy. Does that make sense? It's like, I mean, I know a lot of people think this film's like really sleazy.
I don't know. I think it's sleazy.
I think it's tasteful. I think it's tastefully done. I know it's like rough what's going on.
Yeah.
But like there's other films that we'll talk about later, like that are not as classy, I'd say. Like
right. But I don't know. I would say it's sleazy, but I can see what you mean. Like they only go so far with the violence. They don't actually show you kind of too well. I don't know because
I'm just saying the sleaze part. Like, I'm not talking about the violence, really.
But don't you think the way he because obviously there's a few rape scenes in this as well.
Yeah.
Don't you find that sleazy? Because I'm like, oh man,
that is but a couple of the sex scenes they don't seem like rape. A couple of them don't,
Yeah, they start off as rape, but then they kind of I know where
it changes into something else, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
they kind of enjoy it basically, the women involved, which is kind of weird. But I get you. I get where you're coming from there. Yeah,
right. Yeah. But there's other films that are sleazy, like sleazy cheesy,
like The Washing Machine or Arabella, Black Angel. I'm like, spoiler up front now. I fucking love this film, Washing Machine.
I don't have that version.
Oh man, this is a 10. I'll show it off in a bit.
Yeah.
But I love all that sleaze, man.
Yeah, we'll give that one a couple minutes.
Yeah. I think that's Dirk's favorite of the night, actually.
But
I'm joking. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Chris says he did House on the Edge of the Park just before he went to jail.
He's on about Deodato, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he did it, but like, I think while he was shooting it, he didn't get to finish it. Like from what I understand, because the Cannibal Holocaust came out while they were making House on the Edge of the Park, right?
They were like,
and that's when he got arrested.
Yeah.
It's one of the best revenge films ever.
I completely agree. I like this is right.
It's weird though. Like if you really think about, like we're getting into spoiler territory. I got a whole.
Yeah. We're gonna spoil it. I think this is what I really do want to talk. Like
yeah. We'll talk freely, but we'll get there. Let's see. Fat Pig the Conqueror says, and then make Raiders of Atlantis a few years later. I love that piece of crap, by the way.
I need to see that one. I haven't seen that. The one I've never seen.
That's one I haven't seen. Yeah. Night Train Murders is more brutal than this, but I like House at the Edges a little more.
Yeah, some of the violence in Night Train Murders, you actually see some of the, the really nasty stuff. I don't know. Yeah, probably it's.
Do you really see it? You don't really see it. It's kind of implied. Like you don't really.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But you
don't
like,
show
there's
it.
all kinds of knives going up women's.
Yeah, don't show it all the way.
Yeah,
like, kind of does like what Solange does in a way,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I think Solange might fuck with your head a little more, if I'm honest.
Like with this one, though, you know what you're getting when you come into this within the first kind of 20 minutes. You know where it's going.
Because you can't avoid that. I mean that opening scene is like, what the fuck, and to think that was his wife,
Yeah.
Time,
She, for some strange reason, right, on the old DVD, because I was watching all the interviews,
Yeah.
she didn't want, when the guy interviewing her about that scene, she didn't want to talk about it. She said, no, I'm not going to talk about that scene.
Well,
Like, so that's, yeah.
Deodato said that it was very disturbing for him, and he had to edit it a certain way. He had to have it edited and cut a lot of shit out of that. He said it was worse than what we see.
It's brutal, mind. Yeah.
But I
It's
imagine
like,
Hess really got into character, I guess,
right. So she met Hess like 5 years previously. And they were obviously, I'm not sure if they were married, but they were obviously very, in a relationship. But then to go on like and say that he was sleeping with Annie Bell in one scene, he was actually, they were having sex for real. It's
yeah, she had to leave the set.
That's disrespectful to his partner at the time, like
Yeah.
this lady, I think. But he's
Right.
open about it. Hess, he don't give a fuck. He just on the interviews, he's open about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she will not have nothing, she won't have nothing to do with that scene. She doesn't want to speak about it. But it is weird that, that's his wife, like,
Chris
it's
says he
very
loves body count. Don't listen to me. But hey, you
it's
love
okay. I like
you love
it.
what you love, but
Yeah,
for me, it's pretty. Yeah, I don't know. It's all right.
I like it on a slasher level to like
Yeah.
Friday the 13th knockoff level,
Right.
but it's never gonna be like, I'd love to see. I think Wes is in you.
It's
Is
pretty
CK
bad.
in you? Yeah.
It's pretty bad performance from Hess and Mia, right? Not Mia.
Yeah.
Not Mia Farrow. Who the hell I'm thinking?
No, you're thinking Mimsy Farmer.
Mimsy Farmer.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad, and she's, I don't know. Like
there's nothing to it. It's just basically this guy going around in a fucking shaman mask in the middle of the woods killing people.
Or is it?
Or is it? Yeah. Or is it? Yeah.
Like that's the big twist at the end, but I don't know.
I mean, there's things to love about it. I love the score to that as well. But Wes, I think that's Wes in it. It might be Steve or UB. I don't know, but they're in.
Oh, that's CK.
That's CK. Is it? He says,
"How you boys doing tonight? What's going on, man?"
Good, man. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he mentions body count as well. Should get a release, which I'd love to see it get a release and get all the extras and all that type of thing.
Chris says, "I didn't know she was that woman in Absurd." Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. In my opinion, David Hess isn't scary in the house on the edge of the park like he was when he played Krug. Yeah, in the last house on the left. Yeah, I don't think he's as effective.
See, I disagree. I disagree.
In that regard, I don't think he's as, because he's like
ruthless. You mean? Yeah.
He's way more ruthless as Krug, man. Like
I can see that. I can see it, but I still think like
you know what I mean. Like he actually loves his friend Ricky, where Krug is like, you don't give a fuck about nobody, really.
Right.
Like,
do you think? Because obviously in the first scene, right? So he takes a straight razor, doesn't he? Obviously.
Yeah.
Do you feel? But I don't think they would go into that party expecting to do what they did, because it all turns at a certain point when they're playing poker. Completely changes the whole film.
It was the disrespect.
Yeah. I don't think he went there. Do you think he went there with the, thinking they were gonna do all that?
They were just gonna hang out and have a good time.
Yeah. But then I think he took the straight razor just in case, like, just I don't know, maybe protection or something.
That's what I'm saying. Krug was a way different character, like.
I understand that. Yeah, I can get where you're coming from there. Definitely. I just think he's the way he handles the Cindy situation, which we're going to mention because I love talking about that scene. I mean, that's as brutal as it comes. I think what he does. So,
the Fact Pig to Conquer says the gay relationship thing seems like something modern film critics would say. Yeah.
Hess pretty much said it wasn't a film.
Too. And I think Radici was gay.
He was. He was.
So he even just debunked that shit. He's like, no, I don't think so. I think they were just like brothers, But see, Chris says this is my favorite Deodato film.
Okay. Yeah, it's close. Probably Cannibal Holocaust for me, but this is a close second. Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Blood Delirium is a great sleaze movie I watched recently.
I have that, but I've not watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either. I've heard bad things. I think that's
I've
why
heard. I think Tex
I
said
need to quit
it
listening to
wasn't
people,
great.
to be honest. So
Right. I did read up on it as well, and it didn't really say my thing. But
Yeah.
Tex, I think, said it was okay. I think.
Ultraviolent Hippie says, in my opinion, Lambava, Delirium, and Fulci's The New York Ripper are way sleazier than The House on the Edge of the Park. Yeah, well, New York Ripper. I'll give New York Ripper, maybe.
I don't know about Delirium, though. I don't
know about Delirium, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Photos of Goya or whatever.
Yeah. That's an interesting point, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is sleazy, though. If you think about it. It's been a while since I've seen it, though. So,
Ultraviolent Hippie, man, he's got some great views. Like, I don't always agree with him, but I mean, yeah, he's got some great. That's what we need. People like that in the comments giving talking points and all that.
Wes says, I wish somebody would officially release body count so everybody would shut the fuck up about it.
Right? Yeah.
I hear you,
Everyone
man.
wants it.
Like,
Everyone wants it.
It's not a high tier one for me, man. Like,
there's got to be some kind of rights issue. Like maybe Felsher would know. Yeah, there's got to be something.
Yeah. Okay. Krug convinced his son to off himself. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
if you look at it like that, yeah.
Whereas, Alex, and I was wondering that too. Like, so Alex, right? Do you think that maybe he was thinking of Alex DeLarge from Clockwork Orange, like to come up with that name?
I've never thought about that. Yeah. No, I didn't really,
because they're kind of similar in a way, but I think even Alex DeLarge might be worse than this Ricky guy, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. I think there's like Almost Human may have even been like a bit of an inspiration for this as well. That one scene in Almost Human when they're basically it's like a home invasion part of it.
Right.
I think this was heavily inspired by that as well. This is like something like no other film. I don't think there's another film like this though in terms of the whole thing all the way through. The cast, like you say, we mentioned like the main part of the cast, but I even like so you got Lorraine DeSalle, and she was in Cannibal Ferox. She puts in a good performance.
Yeah, she won't even talk about Deodato didn't want to really talk too much about her, but I know she was pissed off about her nudity scenes, and she's done nude scenes in other films. So
she was trying to get Radici to basically cover it. Like, so when they're doing the sex scene or the rape scene, Radici was kind of trying to cover up her parts because she was telling him to off camera, I should say. And Deodato just saying, "Fucking what's going on?" Basically, just carry on.
No, Deodato said, "Move your arm. I want to see her pussy."
Yeah, I think he got annoyed with him as well. He said, just fucking do the scene. Don't even.
Yeah, he said he wanted to see her snatch or whatever. I was like, holy shit. But
I think she's really strong. Like her character's really strong in this as well.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you could go through some of the film if you want.
And she was, I mean, I don't know about now, but so I guess a few years back, she was a producer. I mean, I'm not. Because the stuff I found out, it was a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
But that's why Deodato didn't want to mention too much about her. He barely touched about what she did. But so this was based on a true life Circeo massacre. Have you heard about that?
No.
So that's where Gianfranco Claresi, he got the idea. It was based on a real massacre case, involving some wealthy kids. It was an old idea that him and Deodato had, and they put it back on the back burner.
Oh God, never.
Yeah, but this really, like, a version of this story really happened.
I can see that as well. He's definitely believable, I think, in parts. Like,
maybe not the serial rapist killer angle part of it, but
yeah, because
no, I'm saying that might have not really happened. They might have not
yeah.
baited a real, you know.
But
Anyway,
doesn't he like that? It's implied that he's got off with that anyway. That like Hess has killed that woman at the start of the film, but he's never been like in prison or anything for it because they do mention
and
the
you
fact.
notice when he does that, he keeps her locket like he keeps a trophy.
Yeah. So he's
Yeah,
basically got away with that. But Ricky does mention later on in the film. Can you remember that girl back from last year in the park that you raped?
yeah,
So he's a serial fucking killer and a
right.
rapist. Like it's insane.
Yeah,
But he's never been kind of put. It's never you're never told that he's been put in prison before or anything like that. I think he's just a product of fucking that society, like because he starts off as like just being like he's a garage, basically manager of a garage, and they're into all kinds of shady shit, like like different, and I think he's just a criminal in general, but I just think it's kind of escalated into like rape and killing women along the way as well. Yeah, it's definitely out there, this film, I think, in places.
I was just looking at something. Sorry.
That's okay. No.
Let me catch the chat right quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ultraviolet Hippie says the only thing I like about the house on the edge of the park is the scene where Giovanni Lombardo Radici dances to the song "Do It to Me" by Riz Ortolani.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's funny you mentioned that because I think Radici was a dancer, and when he did that scene, he did that shit he danced bad on purpose. And
Right.
like
like his character as well. He based his character on John Travolta.
John Travolta, yeah.
Yeah. So Saturday Night Fever was like 2 years previous, and he tried to get into like what he tries to
Do a
do with
bad
each
version.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah. He tries to like build his character around the swagger and all that of John Travolta. I don't.
It's
think
so
it
funny
works,
too, though. Like,
yeah, it's
and there's a funny story about that jacket or whatever. So he bought that jacket himself because there was a shoestring budget, because this was just leftover money from Cannibal Holocaust. So he went and bought that jacket that Ricky's wearing, and he said, "Look, if this he said they love the jacket. Deodato loved the jacket, so he told Deodato, he said, if anything happens to this jacket, then y'all are paying for it." And they was like, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." So he cut a slit in the fucking jacket on purpose. And then they said, well, maybe it was from one of the chick's stilettos. Put a hole in it. So he got a free jacket. He didn't. He got his money back basically. I was
right. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
His performance in like playing this mentally challenged guy is
and playing
like,
Bob too, right?
He
it's almost the same character in a way. Almost. Bob's probably a little less like. I mean, Bob's probably a little more off, right?
But, with the blow up doll and all that. But I'm
just saying the way he is.
The chemistry between the two I mentioned earlier is amazing. But I do want to touch on some of the scenes later on. I think some of the most like heart kind of breaking scenes. I think there's definitely one between Hess and him later on in the film, which I'll come on to. Yeah. Man, I mean, like it touches you, man. I tell
that's
you.
The thing. That's something else that Radici mentioned, that it was pretty amazing that Hess could cry on at will.
Yep.
He was one of those actors that could just cry just like that on the spot. Like Radici said, he would have to think of something really bad before he could get that to happen.
Right. Yeah. And do you know another thing he said as well? So a lot of these like actors in these Italian films, the directors we always mention, have got a bit of an ego. Yeah. So Hess turned around and he was asked basically about Christian Borromeo, and Hess turned around and said he was like absolutely shit. He was basically like one of the worst actors in the film.
Yeah, he said that from what I heard from like the rest of the cast as well, was like he was pretty much a loner, you know?
Yeah.
And Hess didn't think that he worked well being like the lead, that it should have been the other guy that played
Howard.
Yeah, the guy that plays Howard.
He said, he said about that guy though. He said Borromeo. He basically said he's trying to like come up against me, and he's got no chance. He said I was the fucking king of this film. He said, there's no way he could even like be in.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, it's cocky
like,
what he's saying, but he's right.
He's right. This is Hess's film. This is Hess's best
Hess
performance.
Was a star too. So Deodato talked about that as well. So Hess tried to run shit.
Yeah.
He tried to run the whole damn thing. Like, like he owned.
He had a stake in the film though, didn't he? I think Dirk.
No.
He had. Yeah, no. I think he did. Yeah. He had.
I didn't see that nowhere.
So what it was they done some kind of like American when they were doing the rights for the American sales. Yeah. And he turned around and he said, "Look, I want a part of this film, or I'm not going to do it." And they basically give him a percentage of the American sales. So then he kind of, even though he's not credited, he kind of was like a producer. Radici was saying the way he would like do all his.
Deodato didn't mention that at all. So I was going.
Yeah, this is in a really old one though. This is in the old DVD.
Because Deodato was saying like he had to basically get mean with him, and then he fucking slapped him. Deodato slapped Hess and shit, and like.
Shit, I didn't see the updated interview.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, he said he slapped the shit out of Hess because Hess was like trying to control shit one day, like he always did. And he said he slapped him, and him and Hess were really good friends. And he said he slapped him, and he said, he's such a hulking, imposing guy.
Yeah.
That he looked really pissed off. But he said the look that he gave him, he didn't know if he wanted to kill him or kiss him. And then Hess just came up to him and kissed him on the cheek and shit. I guess he gained his respect, but
no, he did. He did. This is going back on the early interview. He did say he had like a little stake in it, but he would come in and he would change his lines all the time.
Okay.
Radici said he was kind of like a producer in a way, which kind of makes sense because it is his film, I think.
Oh yeah, it is. It is, but like a lot of the people mentioned that he was real control freak. And I think he's like that on a lot of films. Like, well, he was, I should say,
He, because his background as well is kind of interesting. So he used to be like a rugby player.
Yeah.
I think he captained America and club level as well. He was the captain. He said, because he's very much like, he bigs himself up a lot, right? Basically.
He does. He's very conceited.
He said he could come onto a rugby game and he could change it just like that. He said he
changed the whole game.
Yeah. And but I mean, some of the shit he comes out with, I believe the guy. He's just the way he says it. I fully believe what he says a lot. Do you believe the Annie Bell scene was real then? That he did actually have sex with her?
Yeah.
Because she hasn't come forward and said that she didn't, so I presume.
Yeah, I believe so. She had been in other erotic films as well, so there was no.
Yeah.
That was nothing for her, I think.
Her boyfriend at the time was Al Cliver as well, the guy from Zombie too, and Fulci Zombie, and so there's kind of weird shit going on if all that's going on in the film. And you've got, they're both in relationships. It's kind of weird to me, but
well, Hess was really he got into a character, and he really got into that character. So
I can't see. Can you see him? But Hess being is this like I can't see another performance is better than this Hess's performance in this. Do you or
what do you mean?
So do you think Last House is better?
For me, yeah. I think so.
Like the whole thing, though. I mean, the acting, not just all the violence, and I mean, just as a performance in general. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty close, but I would take Last House. I'd take Crew.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'd take his performance as Crew because I don't know, man. That just started a lot of shit back then. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so many other
Um.
things came after it. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't argue the fact, but they're
Right.
both like
No, this is a
amazing.
great performance. Don't get me wrong. Like all the way around, not just Hess. I mean, he's like the standout for sure. But yeah,
But the character wouldn't work as well if he didn't have, Radici as well
yeah,
as
no.
Ricky.
If he was just a ruthless ass killer, because I was gonna get into that here in a second, but like he mentioned, so Hess mentioned about external beauty and internal ugliness, and he
Yeah.
said the thing is, you see, like with Ricky and Alex, you see they are who they are right out the gate.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
other people, you don't see that shit. You don't see it. It's like they have internal ugliness, like
Yeah.
so.
Like that's definitely the way the film ends is like Cannibal Holocaust in that respect.
Right.
But I do want to mention the opening scene with the rape of the blonde woman, in the opening scene. So you've got this song, like the same track. I don't know what you think about it, but
Yeah.
the song "Sweetly" plays
Yeah, it's very
while all
catchy.
this shit is going on, man.
Yeah, it's a catchy song, man. Like last night when I was I finished watching the film and it was still on. So the menu plays.
Yeah, it
I
does. Yeah,
just let it
yeah,
roll while I was sitting there writing notes and shit. Like
yeah, yeah.
so,
It's like the opening theme to Cannibal Holocaust. It puts you in a false sense of security, but it's so creepy. Like it really works. And there's a scene later on as well with one of the young girls that plays as well, and it's like I love it. I love the whole soundtrack though because you got kind of disco, song in there as well.
Ultra Violent Hippies asking, is anyone looking forward to the upcoming Blu-ray for Deodato's Off Balance from Cauldron Films?
That's already out because I
Yeah,
own it.
yeah,
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah,
Phantom
it's
of
an
Death.
amazing. Yeah, it's
It's
an
been
amazing release.
it's been out for what, like almost a year.
Um, maybe 6 months, maybe something like that.
No, we did a show with Steve with Captain B playing. Remember?
Right, so maybe a year then. Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say it's been almost a year, probably.
yeah. It's a great addition, mind.
When we did the Edward stream, right? Like
Yeah. I would highly recommend getting it. Yeah. I love that film anyway. I
yeah.
like. Oh, well, Donald Pleasance is all I can say like for that. But
It's it's funny. It's
that's one that don't get like it's one of Deodato's films I think don't get really talked about as much as it should do. Because I think it's a solid like Giallo, like you could call it a slasher as well.
I don't think it's solid Giallo at all because
I know you kind of differed with me. I think.
Well, I mean, they reveal this shit in the first 30 minutes, so it's like that fucked it up for me. I was
and
like,
it's kind
why'd
of
y'all do
different
that
as well.
shit? Like,
because you got the old age thing coming into it, the premature old age thing. So I can see why people, maybe wouldn't even regard it, as a Giallo.
I mean, I like it. It's a fun film, but they should. I think that's the only thing that hurt the film for me is they should have. I don't want to go on a tangent because we're talking about this other stuff.
No, you think they kind of blow their load?
They shouldn't have revealed it that quick. I don't.
Yeah.
Like they should have left it a little. They could have worked it out a little bit.
But go back to our earlier video if you want. Like
because we got a stream with Captain B playing lesser known Jolly of Edwidge Finette.
Yeah,
that's the stream. Yeah,
definitely check that out. Yeah,
but damn, I'm going on tangents, man. My bad.
No, that's all right.
Let's see.
Chris, I don't think Chris has heard of it. Like Off Balance. So it's basically, Chris, it's called Phantom of Death as well.
Yeah, it's Phantom of Death. Ultraviolent Hippie says, I didn't know that Grindhouse video are treating it like it's just now being released. Maybe it's a reissue or something.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe they've just kind of got the distribution rights or something. Chris just pre-ordered. You'll love it, Chris, because I fucking love that, because it's, to me, it's like a slasher, but yeah.
But like I said, Deodato, he hated this film. Did you know
right?
that?
No.
Yeah, he said he hated this film. Like, initially he hated it. Said it terrorized him. He said, but he grew to love it because of the audience reaction. So that's the only reason he loved it. It's like,
right.
It's like, because it fucking, like, so he really didn't like the fucking film. I was kind of shocked by that statement. I was like,
I wonder if that's because it was like if you go back to the interviews with Radici and Hess, they say it was like a rush production. And Deodato was under constant pressure all the time to try and get it done in 3 weeks.
Maybe that's why, because he was always stressed out, probably.
Yeah.
But maybe, but also he says the scene with Cindy, that Cindy scene.
Yeah.
And also the opening rape scene with Hess. Like, he said that was so fucking disturbing because we didn't get to see what really happened. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
In that scene. And that was his girlfriend. So you could just only imagine.
Yeah.
What the fuck
That's
happened.
why you maybe don't want to talk about it,
Right.
The stuff with Cindy is so fucking
right.
To put it into context, I think she was supposed to be in the film. She's supposed to be like 15 or 16 years of age. I think the actress was a little bit older, obviously.
Yeah.
But she got this really young face as well. So she does look like 15, 16.
She does. It's very disturbing.
Is disturbing the way the music, the song sweetly plays as well.
And I think that's why they did it.
Her.
I think that's why they did that, because she didn't really have any experience. And then she's also playing a virgin, right?
Yeah.
And man, that's a rough scene. It really is, man.
I mean, Hess nails it, because he starts singing to her, and he goes, "Cindy, oh Cindy, Cindy, don't
it's
let
that
me
song
down."
that's playing at the beginning.
It is fucking
so sweetly.
Yeah.
It's so Cindy. Right? Is that what he's saying?
And that comes into play at the end as well, because Howard, when he's in the swimming pool.
Oh yeah.
And they're about, well, we're gonna mention it later.
Well, you want me to hit I need to hit the spoiler alert, so we can we don't have to keep dancing around some of this shit.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of like all over the place, but hey, man,
we'll go into the structure of this film now. We'll go through it. We will. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I think with this one, like, we've got to talk it all the way through, I think, thinking on it now. There's too much.
You got to, man. I think so too. And I kind of want to anyway. So
I do as well. This is, like I say, top tier. Yeah, so basically, like you say, the opening, you've got Alex and Ricky, they're both working in this garage,
Yeah.
These kind of
yeah.
Go on.
I was saying, like, I guess we could go ahead and just get to the house, right, in Jersey.
Yeah.
Because I the synopsis or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So you've got. So basically, then they've invited, like, Hess, his character, Alex, basically invites himself to this party, with these. They're kind of like yuppies, I'd say, or
they're
really
very well-to-do. Like, they think their shit don't stink, kind of deal,
Right, yeah, and I presume they're like Annie Bell and the Christian Barrero's character are like a couple in real life in this film, you know. So basically, they go back to this party. You've got Howard, Glenda, and Gloria. They're all already at the house, and like you say, they're rich, But what happens early on is, Ricky, they basically start to exploit Ricky because he starts dancing with Gloria. and then they're kind of mocking him.
Yeah, they're
And, like,
fucking with him, definitely.
Yeah, Hess can
And
see all this going on, and he's
Hess
like,
recognizes it, but Ricky just thinks
exactly.
he just thinks that everything's cool and like they're digging his moves and shit. Like,
They
but
start stripping off as well, and they kind of start egging
Yeah.
him on to like strip off naked.
Right.
And it's a mentally challenged guy as well, obviously. So they're basically just fucking with him. And they're kind of getting him more and more drunk as well. But there seems to be like some sort of spark between Alex and Lisa, who's Annie Bell. Obviously David Hess, Annie Bell. And in the one scene, he starts kissing her all over, and she tells him, like, she basically, like, I don't know if you got this phrase in America, but it's like a cock tease.
Yeah, for sure.
She leads him on, and then
she's a cock tease.
leaves him in the shower, which is kind of funny. But that's where you see Annie Bell full on naked in the shower. And I mean,
what does he say though about it? He says she was like with me in the shower. Now you got me. Now you don't.
Yeah. So she's playing games as well, like you know.
Yeah. Big time tease.
It's a hell of a shot, of her in the shower, really. But I don't want to go on too much about that. But yeah, so Alex gives Ricky so that they all ended up playing poker, right? So Ricky starts losing all his money to him at poker, and like Alex is just kind of watching in the background. He comes in after all that with Annie Bell, and so Ricky just says, "You got more money to play poker?" Like, so Alex keeps like bankrolling him.
Yeah.
But they're just basically just cheating their fucking ass off,
Yeah, he catches them cheating.
Completely exploiting him. Yeah. And then the whole film fucking changes, doesn't it? In that kind of regards.
That's where it changes at with Howard. Howard thinks he's gonna handle Alex, and then it don't go so good, and the whole thing changes up. Then it turns into, okay, motherfucker, you're like, then his true nature comes all the way out, I guess you'd say.
He starts to attack Alex, Howard does, and then Alex just beats the crap out of him and just starts
laughing at him while he's doing it, type of shit.
Yeah, he said calls him champ or something, didn't he? Like, but he does give him respect, man. He does respect him at the end because he says he's the only one out of all of them who got balls.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a little bit of respect. Right? Yeah. But yeah, really weird shit starts to happen then. So Alex kind of like tells Ricky then to choose one of the women, and he says, "Choose one of the women, and you got to make her in front of everyone."
Yeah,
and that's where he chooses.
Gives him his pick too.
Yeah. He picks a Gloria, who kind of Lorraine DeSalle. But he starts to rape her as well, and it's really that. This is just one of the first rape scenes in it as well. It's kind of hard to watch, doesn't
said that he thinks that she had something against him because later on he was supposed to do something with another producer, and she shut it down basically.
Okay.
But he said he don't know why, but he felt like she had something against him. But
I've not read into that, but yeah, could well be the case because, like you say, she ended up being a producer, didn't she? I think.
Yeah.
Even up to this day, maybe. The whole fight breaks out again, doesn't he? And like Tom tries to stop the rape or whatever, and gets his face slashed. It is fucking brutal the way they take, so Hess's character, he takes Howard outside after he's beat the crap out of him. And he fucking just runs up and drop kicks him into the swimming pool. It's like, oh man. It's like
he pisses all over him.
Yeah, man. It's such a fucking ironic
intro, scene. Right? Like where he's laughing at him and shit. But but what's the trip though? So the black actress in the film, Marie Claude Joseph, right?
Yeah,
Claude Joseph.
I think she's French. Yeah.
Supermodel. That was Deodato's girlfriend at the time.
Oh shit! Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, that probably was right because he was coming off a divorce as well, I think. And he coming off a divorce with Sylvia D'Onzio.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, he said, "You want to be in a movie?" and she jumped at it. No hesitation. And then he said they was dating, which you know what that means. But
Yeah. Because Hess was asked about her. He said, like, basically he was asked the question, what was she like and all this, and he said she was a model. And he didn't even express anymore because you can tell the girl can't act, and
yeah,
she's basically there because of the director anyway.
right.
But he didn't say too much about it. He just said, yeah, she was a model, and he just basically left it at that.
But you notice how like Hess don't really torment her as much.
No,
as the others,
Like, he called, like, I'll tell you what was kind of sporadic as well. He calls her roots, which is like a real racist term because at the time there was like a TV series, wasn't it? I think, Dirk.
Oh yeah,
called
it's
Roots.
about,
that was
way back in the day. Yeah, they used to play
slavery and all that shit, I think.
Yep.
So yeah, that was just a derogatory term. He just come up on the spur of the moment.
Oh yeah, there's several derogatory terms in this film.
Oh God, yeah.
They say,
So yeah, you've got all the, like I say, the rape with Ricky and Gloria. Like it is what it is. Got all that fight going on, and then you've got Alex goes into like the bedroom, I think it is, or basically like starts getting it on with Annie Bell.
But that scene before though, like
where
he's stalking the supermodel chick.
Yeah, because
that's a great fucking scene. That's a great,
yeah.
I love that fucking scene in the dark and all that shit.
Yeah.
And the way she actually does a good job in that scene, I thought. But
yeah. I mean, like when she speaks, and now you can tell she's not an actress, but yeah, definitely in that scene. So you've got so Alex basically tells Ricky to like rape Gloria, doesn't he? But she freaks out, doesn't she? She freaks out on him. But then he just carries on, and then he just carries on with the rape.
Yeah, he says that for some reason, it's very strange though to me, like in this movie, like where Radici's character Ricky, he's like, I don't want to hurt you. And then all of a sudden she completely changes, and she's horny for him.
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, it's so odd to me though. Like,
and them two were real friends in real life. Apparently, Radici, they had friends in common. And like we mentioned earlier, I think we touched on the sex scene earlier. He was kind of he was a homosexual, but he was kind of trying to be gentle with her throughout these scenes because they go on so well.
Odd though, like, I don't know, it just seems odd to me.
No, I get it. Yeah. But he does do the one wrong thing, doesn't he? So he fucking starts to answer back to Alex and basically.
Oh yeah, he starts talking back and shit.
Yeah, man. And then again, that fucking changes the whole relationship between them two for a while as well. He tells him to shut up, I think it is, and just But Alex then says, and he says, well, I'll show you how to do it. If you can't, carry on with the rape, I'll show you how to do it. And then he takes Annie Bell's character, Lisa, and then she goes to fucking go down on him and literally goes to give him a blowjob. Yeah. And then he just fucking pushes her away and he
laughs at her and shit. Says like, she wants to do it or
she
whatever.
Fucking looks like she, like, again, like the Gloria character. She wants to do it.
Right.
Like, it is, man, it is fucking all these scenes, are like fucking what makes such a great film for me. Right. But you've got Gloria then, like you say, the lights are turned off. Basically, like, he runs off, doesn't he, and then catches up with her. Like Ricky catches up with her. And then you've got all the shit that's going to happen with bloody this young girl as well who just turns up. It is like bizarre, man.
We got Brian Goes Blue and Coco 2 in here.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Coco.
What's going on?
Hey. But yeah, it does get really fucking darker and darker as it goes on. Alex starts beating up on Lisa as well, tells her to strip off. He basically rapes her. That's the scene we're on about. Then they had sex in real life.
But it looks like, I don't know, man. That's a weird scene too. Like, it looks like a rape, but then it turns into
her enjoying it. Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. It's weird.
And the
weird
music,
how this film does that shit. You know,
the music in that scene as well. It's like, yeah, it's fucking adds to the scene. Like, you know, of how eerie the scene is.
Right.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff, you know, in this that just.
Did you know that there was supposed to be a sequel to this?
Yeah, I do, and I think Danny Steinman was gonna direct it.
I know
Friday
that
the 13th, Part 5.
Well, I didn't hear about that, but Radici and Deodato were hanging out for like 10 days, brainstorming, and they came up with a treatment, but they couldn't get funding.
I think there was a poster made as well.
There's a couple posters, a couple different ones. So the story was going to be Radici's character got locked up for like 30 years.
Right.
And that's how they were going to do it. They were going to take it off. He was going to be released and everything. And then it was just going to branch off of Ricky, you know.
Well, that makes sense, because if they get Danny Steinman to direct it and not Deodato, because Danny Steinman was just like a porn director anyway, wasn't he? And he did Friday Part 2. He done Savage Streets. So he would have been perfect for that type of, you know, film.
I didn't hear about Steinman, but
yeah. He would have been perfect, but yeah, I don't know. I'm glad they didn't do it in a way.
Me too. I don't think I'd want a sequel to this, to be honest.
No, this stands out on its own. We've got to come into perfectly coming into the scene now. When you think things couldn't get any worse, they do. So you've got Cindy turns up at the door.
Yeah.
She's like this 15, 16-year-old kid, really. Blonde
but
kid.
But she kind of flirts. She's flirty with
She does, yeah.
You know?
She says something about, this hunk or something. Then where'd you find this hunk or something like that?
Some shit like that.
But you can tell she's young and she's supposed to be young. But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's just the way Hess just deals with her. For me, it's the most disturbing part of the film, because you've got the song Sweetly plays. He starts singing to her while he's fucking like taking her clothes off with his knife, like basically with his razor. He's kind of getting her clothes off. And it's just like, even
she's
now,
she's just like frozen almost, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to watch even now.
It is a rough scene, man. Deodato said that was another one that was just the most disturbing. Like, he didn't know what was more disturbing, that scene or the first scene. Like, you know,
I would say this one, but they both, yeah.
Well, Deodato, like I said, we haven't seen the complete uncut version of that scene.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He said he had to heavily cut it. So,
right. So yeah, the way because he ends up like basically carving her body, basically, you know, just fucking slashing her whole body.
And the way he's laughing and shit about it, like,
yeah, singing to her as well, man.
And he's just fucking happy and a motherfucker about doing that, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's a twisted, very twisted ass scene, man. It really is.
Which makes that first scene like even more like, because you know he's a fucking serial killer now, or he's at least killed one, and he's like a serial rapist because of what Ricky says as well during that scene. Because he says to him, you're going too far now. You know, remember what you did last year in the park with that one girl.
And well, we see that in the first scene though, like, he rapes her and kills her at the same time, right?
Right, yeah. So you know, like, basically his past.
Right.
Yeah, you know, things just escalate and keep escalating, like, worse and worse.
Brian Goes Blue says, maybe not a popular opinion, but Cut and Run might be my favorite Deodato. Damn.
I need to see it. That's one I've never seen. Which
Cut
is
and Run's
amazing,
fun.
really.
It's fun, but I couldn't put it over either one of these. Well, I'd put it over washing machine. I would do that, but
oh man, I'm gonna mention that. I love that film. But
Right.
yeah, so the violence just escalates, you know.
Right.
He starts punching Gloria in like for escaping.
He said he
And...
really hit her too.
yeah, he did. Yeah,
No, I mean Cindy.
Cindy. Yeah, he did.
Hess said he really hit the girl that was playing Cindy. I didn't get her name. But I was like, holy shit, dude. Like,
yeah, he
said
says that in the old interview as well. He said he
hit her.
really fucking give it to her.
He
like,
hit her
big
too
time.
hard, he thought. But he didn't know. Like, when he hit somebody, he didn't know. I was like, that's kind of fucked up, man. Like,
he said out of all the actors as well, she was the most naive. She didn't know what she was coming into with the
well, I think
everything
that
in
was
the film.
what I think they set her up for failure, because I don't see anything else she ever acted in. They probably fucking traumatized her, you know?
Yeah, he does say that, Hess. He said she basically was so naive, didn't know what she was coming into.
Yeah.
And it fucking basically probably did scar her for life. Literally, you know, I know it's like in the scene he scars her basically, but yeah, it's one of the hardest scenes you'll ever see, I think. In one
Bridget
of these films.
Petrionio.
Right. Yeah.
That's her name. Never acted before, probably never acted again.
Never acted since.
So,
but
damn.
one of the most heartbreaking scenes for me as well, on top of that. So basically, Ricky tries to stop him going any further. Yep. And then Alex fucking slashes fucking Ricky's abdomen wide open.
The shit out of him, yeah.
And the music is so fucking sad in that scene. It's fucking heartbreaking because you see the love these two characters have for each other. And he says, like Hess says something along the lines of, "You made me do it. You made me do it." And it's almost like
he's like, I didn't want to hurt you.
Yeah,
they turned us against each other.
Against each other, yeah. And he's got that big saying where he says all that. You know,
it's a whole monologue. It's great, you know.
It is amazing. It is one of the most heartbreaking.
I'll get scenes. Them sons of bitches, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get them.
I watch that scene now, and I still get goosebumps watching that scene, because of the whole backstory with the two characters, how close they are, and
that's what's odd about this film too. We haven't even mentioned none of that. Like, we're sitting there, like, you almost feel sympathy for these fucking.
I was going to say, yeah.
Well, Ricky's, you know, he's kind of like a kid, I guess you'd say. He's innocent.
He's being put up to it by Hess a lot.
He's innocent, just like in Last House, right? With his own son, like Krug and his son.
Exactly. And, yeah.
Except Krug didn't give a shit really about his son. Obviously.
Right. Yeah. It kind of gives Hess, like, his character. You can see got a little bit of fucking heart in him. You know.
Yeah.
Because he says he starts crying. He says, "You can't leave me now. You can't leave me now." And at this point, we think Ricky's fucking dying. You know.
Right. Yeah, I did. First time I saw this shit.
I still get touched by that scene. I think every time I see it, I still get touched by that scene. Deodato knew what he was doing. He knew how to, like, really shoot that scene and get, like, a full fucking impact, you know, emotionally from the viewers and everything that goes with it. Yeah, man. Like you say, it just it spirals even worse than that, you know. The whole thing with Tommy, he goes to grab the gun, but then, like, fucking Alex, like, shoots him for, like, oh man, like, so basically Tom gets this gun. He ends up shooting Alex through the back door of this fucking villa or wherever they're in. And then he gives the whole meaning of why this is going on. He says, basically, that girl you raped last year was my sister. And yeah, man, he fucking shoots him in the fucking groin, in the fucking dick, basically.
Oh yeah, that's when you see this face right here. That's right above, right.
Yeah, and a lot of people say that's goofy, don't they? Do you think that was goofy, Dirk, the way they did the slow motion?
Do I think it's goofy?
Yeah,
that face is definitely goofy, but I mean,
it works for me though.
It works. It's just, you know, when you see it though, you can't help. I crack up every time I see that shit.
Oh man, I don't. Yeah, I can see why people do. Yeah, a lot of people
do. I mean, the face that face, man, it's hilarious. I don't know. It's
Yeah, it's different. The way like the slow mo and everything, it's fucking different,
you
man.
can see all the damn
Um,
cat fillers in his teeth and everything. Like,
yeah,
his
yeah,
mouth
yeah,
opens so wide, like
yeah. You
it's
can
like
see all
what
the
the shit.
fillings and everything, but the
I
way he
forgot.
screams as well, man. Like
I know I'm kind of backtracking on something. This is something I missed though from earlier on Cannibal Holocaust. I got to mention it right quick.
yeah, yeah. Go on.
It's not going to deter us or anything. So Deodato gave the cinematographer for Cannibal Holocaust. He gave him a ton of credit. The editor, not the cinematographer, the editor. So
Okay.
I think it's the same editor as this film. So I was getting confused earlier, but he gives him a ton of credit for the way he edited both films. But he said that Deodato said that Fulci gave him a nickname, Big Worm, because
Big worm.
because he said he was a spy for other movie producers. Like,
Right. What? Deodato was the spy or the producer or
the editor,
the editor was the spy. Okay. Yeah.
Tomasi worked for Fulci as well, and he said that that's what Fulci had called him, Big Worm, because he would spy on what another the director was working on, and he'd go tell
Right.
another producer what they were
Okay. Yeah.
working on.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. Yeah. They
Anyway,
were all.
I had to throw that in. I forgot to mention it.
No, they were all like fucking kind of
Yeah,
rivals, weren't they?
right.
Like all these guys were rivals.
In
The
competition.
rivalry, yeah, it
Yeah.
was amazing. Like, and I think that's why we're getting all these good films because they were kind of trying to better each other,
One up each other, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we're coming on to the end anyway now. So they literally just all take turns in shooting Alex in the swimming pool.
Except Gloria.
Yeah, Gloria doesn't want nothing to do
She
with
don't
it.
want
Does
nothing to
she?
do with that shit.
Yeah. But they kind of doing that, so they, in the end of the day, I think they were kind of like all going to take responsibility, but in the end, they just leave it to the one guy.
Yeah,
whose sister.
I think that's because he was such a pussy.
Yeah,
that he wanted to like step up then after the fact kind of shit.
Right. Yeah.
Do you see it that way or no?
Yeah. It's and obviously it was his sister as well. I think he just kind of wanted to, because they didn't want to like basically get all involved, because it kind of would have been more unrealistic if they'd have all had a hand in it.
Yeah.
So he was trying to like get an alibi for himself,
Right.
just being him. But so he's in the pool now, Hess, right, and he's like fucking gasping for air when he's just dying with all these wounds, like blood shots. But I love the part with Howard, so he's trying to get out
been
the
tied
pool
up the whole fucking time
under the table, yeah. So
he's the
we
only
didn't
one
mention
with
that.
any balls out of him.
Right. And Hess, he does genuinely look like he's just fighting for his fucking life, man. He's trying to get out the swimming pool, but then Howard like does this thing where he kind of goes to help him and lift him up, and as if he's gonna help him. And then when you're watching this for the first time, you're thinking, what the fuck, man? Is he gonna take, basically just take kind of like feel sorry for him and go that far? But
Yeah,
no,
he's like,
man.
let me help you, buddy. Like, let me help
Yeah,
you. Kind of shit. And
it is. And at this point, I'm starting to feel sorry for fucking Hess. I don't know why, but
I don't ever fucking feel sorry for
oh
him.
man, I do.
Because all the other shit that he's done, like I don't know. But I will say that nobody, like, I kind of get. So we didn't mention why they did that.
Yeah. Go on, yeah.
Yeah, so they really baited him in. Baited him in. This was planned out, which to me is another thing that's a little odd about the film. Why they would let it go this far? Why would you have, if you knew that you're bringing somebody into your home that has killed your fucking sister and raped her,
right?
Why would you not have the gun on you? Like, because he probably knew he couldn't take him. Well, why wouldn't he have the gun on him?
I think they were
just
just
fucking drawer,
No, you're right. I think they were just gonna try and just let it play out like normally and like more naturally. I would presume, rather than just have the gun.
Or maybe he thought Howard could take him.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So there's that too. you know.
Yeah. But Howard just turns round, fucking looks at him and just goes, Cindy, oh Cindy, you're gonna die, referencing Hess from the earlier scene.
Yeah.
And man, that scene is powerful. And yeah, he just pushes him back into the fucking swimming pool, man.
Hess and Deodato both complimented that guy, and that guy is Gabriel Di Giulio.
Right, yeah.
That's his name. And they both complimented his acting. They thought he could have been a great actor. Deodato said he had a great face. He had a great face.
He did, yeah.
And but Hess complimented him too. And he said it's such a shame because he died of a heroin overdose.
Yeah, he was taken aback as well, Hess. But at first he said, "Oh, that don't surprise me," when they tell him. But then he was kind of like,
yeah,
you know, you could see he was a bit, you know, I'm sorry about that, you know, and
right.
But he said it didn't really surprise him. So this guy must have been doing drugs on set, maybe. I don't know. But he died young, yeah.
Oh, Radici said he was all coked out during this film too.
I would imagine a lot of them were, you know.
Yeah, they were all partying, and that was the thing too. So we didn't even mention that they were all partying at night together. They all go out to a club together,
right? Yeah.
Except the Christian, whatever his name,
Borromeo. Yeah.
They said he was kind of like a loner. He wasn't really clicking with them or whatever.
And that shows as well in the film. You can tell that as well.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's they all, you know, like you say, they all struck up relationships off set, off camera, and all that. So when you see the scenes that they do actually do together, it's kind of amazing.
Deodato also admitted that he was a misogynist, a bit of a misogynist, and
he has to be, yeah.
Well, he said, going by today's standards, going by today's world, he said, okay, I'll take that. I'm a misogynist then. He said, because just the fact that of how men and women are like two different races, you know.
Yeah.
But at some point they had to come together. But basically, he didn't say it all the way. But I was kind of thinking like that he still thinks like that men are superior than women, kind of deal, you know.
Yeah. He's kind of like a lot of, kind of a few actors that have worked for him have basically said he had psychopathic traits where he had no emotion. I think we touched on it earlier.
Right.
And like he was far worse than, say, somebody like Argento. Well, I don't believe Argento is a misogynist, but people do argue that.
Yeah.
I think Deodato was kind
of
in the
admitted it.
mode. Yeah. So, and I think Fulci was as well, if I'm being honest.
But I think he's saying it. I don't think he's saying it in a like. I think he's saying it compared like for today's world, the way the world is today,
right?
You know.
Okay, yeah. So he's kind of half admitting it, you know, before he passed away. But the whole ending is like, you know, who are the real savages? Are the criminals? Are they just as bad as the fucking criminals?
They're all savages. I think it's the same. I think it's like you said, a lot like Cannibal Holocaust in that regard.
They're just as bad as fucking Alex. Like
the difference is they hide their ugliness. You know.
Yeah.
And Alex and Ricky don't. Like Ricky's an innocent. Well. I'm not even gonna count Ricky. He's an innocent.
And he does kind of get off, doesn't he? Because they take mercy on Ricky and they leave him at the end. So I presume like he's obviously, you know, it's open ended, but I presume obviously he got, you know, help from you know, in the hospital and he survived basically.
Right. But, he probably went to prison and all that shit. You know?
Yeah, he might have even like put up an alibi for the guy, you know, the Crystal Barromeo's character. Who knows? But I think it's ended brilliantly with Hess led down, fucking face down in a swimming pool, pretty much with Sweetly playing on the same track. I mean, it doesn't get much fucking better than that. Like,
right. Yeah.
This is a high 10 out of 10 for me. I probably like it a bit more than Dirk.
Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. It's an 8 out of 10 film.
Okay, yeah.
And it's because the couple things I probably already mentioned, which, well, I know I mentioned, just a couple things that like I have a problem with, like the whole rape starts and then it turns into like, oh, okay, no, like I don't know, that it's a little weird. Like if I'm really like being honest, it just don't seem as believable in a way,
But that's where the characters are kind of or every character in this, I'd say, has got some kind of fucking flaw.
Yeah, they're all flawed.
Yeah, maybe maybe the black girl wasn't so much, she doesn't really.
She was too. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was too. She was helping him cheat.
I suppose, yeah. If you look at it like that, yeah.
Like helping him cheat in the cards and shit. And she was making fun of Radici.
Right, yeah.
I was going to say they were all fucking making fun of Ricky,
the lesbian scene as well, didn't we? With so basically Hess gets the black girl and Annie Bell to try and get it on in a lesbian scene as well. But this film is so packed with everything, like I mean, what can you say more about this,
but yeah, Radici admitted he was on cocaine for like 2 to 3 years during this time. He said he had one of his stories, not to be too long about this, but he said he had like a big old cocaine rock and he went into the bathroom and he was chopping it up. He thought he had like 30 minutes and he was chopping it up on the counter in the bathroom. And they hollered his name and shit. And he fucking snorted it as much as he could. And he was putting it all in his gums and shit. And he hauled ass to the set and he couldn't talk because his mouth was numb from fucking putting all that shit in his mouth.
Holy shit, man! They were like you say, they were probably all doing it. I know,
but I mean, if you look at Ricky's, you see how energetic he is and shit.
Yeah.
It's like he's on that blocaine for sure.
I was gonna say with Hess as well was well known, like because his wife pointed out to him at this point, he's alcoholic. He didn't think he had a problem because what he was doing is he was going out and he was working out twice a day.
Yeah.
So because he was drinking so much, he was like burning it off, for working out.
Right.
So his wife said to him one night, she said, "Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do tomorrow. You're going to put everything alcoholic that you drink on a table. And we'll see by the end of the night where you're going to be." And I think there was 2 full bottles of wine. There was 2 6-packs of beer and God knows what else. Yeah. And he said, and he did actually, because I don't want to say too much because I know Dirk's had his problems in that regard. So I don't want to go.
Oh, no.
I don't want to.
I'll say it. Shit, I've been sober since 2015. So.
Yeah, and good for you, man, as well. Yeah. But I think Hess, it kind of got the wake up call with that.
Right.
So, like you say, at this time he was probably an alcoholic as well, and so all the drugs and all that was going on.
Right.
But just seeing now. It was on a shoestring budget, basically the whole film. Like you say, it was just money from Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, they got 180 million lira for Cannibal Holocaust, and it only ended up costing 110 million. So they used 70 million lira to make this film.
Yeah. Do you know if this got on theatrically? Because I didn't look into that. Do you know if it done well or if it was just?
I didn't look at that. No, I didn't look that up. I think Deodato said it did well though. Like it was real popular in New York, and when it came out,
I can imagine. Yeah, like it's perfect for the New York scene in the early 80s. This would have been a perfect grindhouse type film.
Right.
But yeah, like you say, I'm just looking there my notes if I got anything else. But
let me catch the chat right quick.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
Let's see.
I hope we kind of put those first 2 over really well. But most people have seen them, I gather, anyway at this point. But if you've not seen House on the Edge of the Park, then you need to.
Chris says, never seen Cut and Run. A few times on Tubi. A few of his is on Tubi, yeah. Let's see. Brian says, never seen Washing Machine. Always wanted to, but I think it only has that Shameless. Yep.
Yeah, I'm about to show that off, yeah.
Yeah, I think that release is out of print, Brian. I haven't seen the washing machine yet, but I'm gonna dip out because I've got work early in the morning. Great stream. I appreciate it.
Oh man, yeah.
Ultraviolet Hippie for hanging this long. We're almost 3
thanks
hours
for
in.
commenting.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh man, well
Yeah.
appreciated, man. Yeah,
man. Let's see. No film is a 10 out of 10 to me. That's why I put it 9.5 out of 10. Okay.
Okay.
You got Dan Shine in here, man. What's going on?
Hey, Dan, how's things, man?
Our third, the Dead End Drive-In, man. We do with Dan on Visited by Voices 1, or Visited by Voices Network, right?
Network, yeah.
Yeah.
Check that out. Go and subscribe. You know, Dan's got his own channel as well.
Flesh Wound Features too.
Which is, yeah.
Dan says, "Good topic tonight. I got to meet Ruggero a few times. That's fucking."
Oh man, yeah, I would love to have.
Dan met all kind of motherfuckers, man.
Oh man, he would have been up there. He would have been up there for me to try and meet.
My mom used to talk to Giovanni all the time on Facebook about cats. She never saw a single movie he made.
He was actually kind of accessible on Facebook because I remember I had a conversation with him once about something. And he took time out for his fans. He was amazing like that. Yeah. I mean, you could contact him on Facebook and ask, like, back in the day, you know, because I think Dana did an interview with him as well for a magazine. And he would have just done an interview. He probably would have ended up coming on streams and stuff. You know, it's so sad what happened.
Wild Wrangler says, D&D, Masters of Giallo and Italian cult and horror films. Great work, Dirk and Darren.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
I appreciate it, man. I wouldn't say masters because, I mean, we're learning all the time, man. We got a lot to learn still. You know?
I mean, you got Dan Shine in the chat, and
Dan knows
he's a
stuff.
Master, I would say. Yeah. We're
trying.
We're getting there. We're trying to, you know, eventually try and watch everything we can. It's available.
Wild says, congrats since 2015. Bless you and your family, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I mean, it's a badge of honor for me, to be honest, man. But
I mean, you've got good support as well, Tasha, you know.
Yeah, I got a great family. I got great friends. It's awesome. I can't.
Yeah.
Let's see. Happy Father's Day to all fathers and fathers of dogs, cats, birds, and every animal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'll say it again. Happy Father's Day, you motherfuckers. But yeah, maybe that's wrong, but I don't know.
No, I said it earlier anyway.
Yeah. Right. Let's see. Dan says Cut and Run is a good one. There's a funny story about Michael Berryman throwing Ruggero in the river when he found out there were piranhas he didn't tell him about.
Oh shit, man.
Damn. Okay. Yes, he was easy to get a hold of. Talking about Radici.
Yeah, he was a lovely guy, honestly. Yeah.
Dan says we will have to set a recording date for the I Drink Your Blood show. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I downloaded the film. Like I've got it ready anyway. Cool. What was the other one we were doing?
I Drink Your Blood and damn, what is it?
Fight for Your Life, I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, Fight for Your Life, the one I mentioned. Yeah.
I've got them ready anyway, so just give us.
That's a Grindhouse exclusive for sure.
It is, yeah. That'll be a fun one to cover.
Hey man, let's see. Yeah, Fight for Your Life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a break for a second, man? Are you good?
We could take a quick toilet break if you want.
Yeah, let's do that, man. Sorry, y'all. If y'all haven't done it yet, man, please, you know.
Apple, it's slippery. No, don't worry, Franz.
My bad, I hit the wrong one. So just
that's all right. Just gonna warn people now. We're still gonna be on for at least another 20 minutes, half hour.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So. Yeah, do all the good things, you know. But we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah. Yep, back at it.
Let's see. Let's see. Yes, both very, very grindhouse. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun
damn.
one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Wild says, anyone watch Creep Show Father's Day?
I didn't have a chance to.
No, not today. Yeah, I've been on this stuff, and then kids came by too, so I spent time with the family a little bit. Greatest intro ever. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, cheers, Chris. Yeah, man.
But yeah, here we go. We're going
we're gonna have a difference of opinion.
We're going to the washing machine.
Right. So there's the release everyone was on about earlier.
Yeah, let me zoom in on that one.
Yeah. So it's basically a tin. It's only
that's cool. That is cool though. Yeah.
The way they did it, yeah.
That's pretty solid. Does it say Deodato too at the top? Where the
yeah.
That's cool as hell, because that's what I put on the thumbnail.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, in terms of extras and all that, it's not got much, but if anything, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm just happy to have it.
This is all you, Darren. This one.
Yeah. I'll take responsibility for this one, for putting this one over, but
right.
I can't argue.
I'll see you in a little while.
All right then, bye. I can't argue the fact that this is a good film, because it's not. Right. It's fucking not a good film by any stretch, like, you know. And there's Dirk gone. No, I wouldn't even be stupid enough to argue like this is good, but right. I love it in such a like cheesy kind of. So where do we start with this? Though? It's like Arabella, isn't it?
I'll tell you where to start with this. So this is sleaze, what I call sleaze cheese. So
yeah.
This is a sleaze cheese at its finest, you know.
Yeah,
it is funny. Like, I gotta admit, like, I was liking it. To a certain part of the film, but I'm not gonna say yet. I'll just okay. Because I was enjoying what I was seeing, and then it was just like, what the fuck, man? Like, but yeah.
I think I know what you're on about, but
right. Okay.
So picture yourself now, people who've not seen this, right? If you want to get a film that is like 1990s, this is fucking it. This is just screams 1990s all over.
Screams 1990s, like late night Cinemax, you know?
Yeah.
That's what it screams. You know?
Sleazy, like.
Did you have Cinemax over there, Darren?
No, but we had kind of a similar thing where they'd show, you know, late night kind of erotic stuff.
Right. Skinemax, we called it Skinemax over here back in the day.
Yeah, you had like cable. We didn't even have cable, I don't think, at one point. Took like ages. It was like we're always behind America. But no, this film, man. Yeah. What do you think fucking Deodato was actually thinking doing this as well, man?
I think he was just trying to get paid.
Like,
that's what's in my mind.
They couldn't get a proper distributor for it, could they? I think they I think they tried to sell the film and just couldn't.
Right. I'm gonna show, hold on. I'm gonna show this right quick. So, to the far right is that's an insane fucking scene right there.
Yeah.
I will say the far right bottom. But anyway, yeah.
I mean, you can just picture what that scene is, but right. I'm going to start off with the score by Claudio Simonetti. It's definitely got like a Goblin feel. And what struck me most about the score to this is it's exactly fucking like the Card Player. It's almost the same score. It's just altered a little bit.
It's been a while since I've seen the Card Player now.
Yeah. I was like completely struck by how similar it is to that. And like I say, I think, you know, a lot of the actors I'm looking through, all the cast in this, didn't really do anything of note.
I didn't recognize nobody.
No one, no. There's a girl, or there's a woman in that scene actually, above, called Barbara Ritchie. She plays Ludmilla Kolber. Oh man, she's super hot in this. She gets completely naked. I go for like dark looking women. I don't know. I got like a thing for dark looking women, like Italian, even, you know. I mean, she just hits it for me big time. But the whole cast, man, you know, there's some really good looking women, like even in the other parts of the cast, you know. I'm trying to set the film up. So you got like these three sisters. You've got Vida, Maria, her nicknames like Sissy, and Ludmilla. They all live together in this kind of I don't know, it's like kind of this rundown apartment block. Like in Budapest, I think it was shot as well in the Hungary. And they all vie for the attentions of this guy called Yuri Petrov.
He's got loads of money, right?
Yeah, he's kind of like a pimp. He's into all sorts of fucking shady shit, you know, to get money.
And he's like very horny.
Yeah. He's basically playing them all off against each other. Like, so he's like basically fucking each and every one of them and playing them off against each other, which is kind of, there's a scene early on where
in the refrigerator, right?
With the refrigerator, it's just bizarre.
And then the sister you see right above, she comes out with like this cowbell, well, not a cowbell, but a dinner bell.
Yeah.
Like
she turns up in one scene as well with like cymbals, and she like fucking goes and bangs these cymbals together.
Yeah, and they're musicians too. Like two of the sisters are musicians. The chunky sister's not, right?
Right, yeah, she's just like a prostitute, basically.
She's just a fucking whore.
So he's basically pitting them all up against one another. But one night, I should say, Ludmilla claims to have found Yuri's body stuffed in a washing machine. And it's bizarre because you see kind of his body like all cut up, I think it is as well. But we don't know if she's like imagining this because, you know, as in all these films, you go back and the body's not there. It's
because it's like it's kind of like it's almost insinuating that the washing machine killed him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I've heard this is classed as a giallo, and it's got the murder mystery element because I was going to say early on, you've got that fridge scene, which is just bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Yuri's kind of having sex.
I think it's a giallo. I think it is.
It is because it's a murder mystery. Yeah. It is.
But it's just
it's weird, man. I will say that it's because we get these sex scenes. You know, we got the early on sex scene where they're fucking by this fridge, basically, and you got the one sister, the gorgeous looking,
knocking food out of the refrigerators.
Yeah, and she's just spying on them all the time. Yeah, she gets off on watching them have sex. She thinks that they don't know that she's there as well, which is bizarre. But they know that, you know, he ends up obviously, like I said, getting killed. I don't think we have to go scene for scene for this, but we can mention some of the more, you know, fun scenes. But then obviously, you know, with this guy, he kind of goes missing. No one knows where he is. Is he dead? Is he not? We get the young police chief or commissioner, I don't know. And he's like this guy who looks like he's come off fucking like a male model type looking guy. Like, it's weird, man. And he plays Inspector Alexander. I think.
Yeah, he's got a weird ass wife too, right?
Yeah, so he's got like this wife who's always trying to like keep tabs on him. Basically, she's watching him.
She's super obsessed with him.
Obsessed, to like following him and all.
I mean, I'm married, but like that's a little too fucking clingy, you know?
Yeah.
The way she is.
This is something, you know. So, like Vida, like it all starts with this argument with Vida and Yuri over like having this engraved bracelet. And he's actually, because he's at this point we don't know, but because he's sleeping with all three sisters, he gives her the other bracelet of the other sister he was meant to give.
Yeah,
and that ends up in a big argument. But weirdly enough, like
cat in here too, so it's
yeah.
It's trying to give you like this supernatural kind of vibe to it, like the cat's evil or something. It's a fucking
because Ludmilla, look, is it Ludmilla, right? So that's the dark-headed and the nice, really nice-looking girl. She
Yeah.
ends up getting spooked by the cat, and then that's where we see the dead body in the washing machine, like basically cut up in pieces. The police show up. They can't find, anything untoward. They think that this girl, Ludmilla, is like, well, she is basically an alcoholic, and there's some kind of mystery, right? So her husband died in mystery circumstances in like some kind of accident. So we don't know what went on there. We presume, like, as the film goes on, that Ludmilla probably killed him.
Right. Yeah, it's like,
but
so the thing with this though, so I do know Deodato, he wanted to get he never wanted to do the same type of film. He was trying to do something different. He's trying to change something up. But I don't really know. Is there anything? Did you hear him talk about this film at all, or anything like that?
I couldn't really find anything. I presume it come out in the wake of Basic Instinct, and it's kind of
like
a sleazier. Well, that's a
sex thriller,
anyway.
Erotic thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like come out basically trying to get success off that, I think, type thing. There's not much really. There's nothing on the extras of the disc but
this one is real goofy too, though. Like
it's cheesy. It's cheesy and goofy.
Real cheese sleaze is what I call it. It's I don't know. Some of them work. Some of them work for me, but I don't know. I don't know. I ain't trying to interrupt you. I'm just trying to.
No, that's fine, man.
Just trying to stress to the people out there, like, if you just be warned. I mean, I like some sleazy, cheesy fucking movies, but this one just, I don't know, man. It's
like I said earlier, though. If you've got those Jolly sets, those forgotten Jolly sets, and you like Arabella, Black Angel, you will love this.
Yeah.
But that's gotta be like the type of film that we I was gonna say Sister.
The acting's not very good.
Yeah. Right.
I'll say
that. But I mean,
is not good at all, really. Like,
I don't mind that though. But I can't recommend it. No, I'm going like Dirk is right. It's a bad film. I can't. There's no way I can recommend it. But on a cheesy level,
turn your brain off.
As an erotic thriller, which I'm a fan of anyway.
Throw something in the spank bank.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for hot women, right?
Yeah.
Check. If you're looking for like cheesiness, like a decent like disco-y goblin type score, it's check. There's a lot of, I think, little things that add up to like a fun watch for me.
Yeah.
But there's no way you can turn around and say it's good.
Right.
And it's very convoluted because I'm not even going to go into the whole how
you can work it out pretty easy too. I mean,
it fucking like towards the end it gets very convoluted though. Like you can work it out, but there's little things happening. There's the whole thing.
There's a couple unanswered questions for sure.
Yeah. There's the suitcase thing as well with the it's kind of weird in that respect. I don't think I think the guy who plays the inspector does a good job. I don't think he doesn't really have to do a lot.
No.
I think the sisters, I know Dirk says they're all bad actors, but I mean, I think that just kind of adds to the charm.
It's extremely over the top.
It is, it is. But I mean, you've got weird sort of sex scenes. You've got just that. I just love the score as well. I know I've said it. I just,
I think the title of the film is to throw you off.
Yeah.
And that whole scene with the washing machine, I think, is to throw you off.
It is. I mean, you can kind of, like Dirk says, you can kind of work it out as you go. It's not too hard.
I was thinking this was going to be more in the vein of like The Mangler,
Yeah.
But no, it's nothing like The Mangler. So,
but I will say something, right, that surprised me. So, Troy Howarth loves this film,
right?
And when because I even I looked up Troy's book obviously in preparation for this, and I was kind of happy about that because I wasn't expecting that at all. But he really likes this film. So but there's not a lot of information about it. Even Troy, there's not too much information about the film or anything that went on with the casting or any of that. But yeah, I would say if you can get it, if you can download it, maybe, and you're interested, you're a big Giallo fan, and you're just kind of into those 90s type erotic thrillers, it's definitely worth
It does
a
have
watch.
some good. I'll give it that. It's got some good gore in it, in a couple scenes.
Yeah.
Some of the shit though, you got to mention, like the one scene though. I did laugh out loud. I gotta admit, I was laughing my ass off when the chick fucking. So they're all like hitting on this detective and shit. All three of the sisters, and the chunky one that's the prostitute or whatever.
Vida, yeah.
Yeah. She handcuffs him like to a fucking staircase and starts.
Yeah.
She like rapes him, basically.
Basically rapes him, yeah.
Handcuffs him with 2 pairs of handcuffs. He can't get away. And he's just like, no, like, you know. But like,
it's like, so funny, shit, man.
The
thing is, right, so he's got these 3 sisters, right? And the other 2,
right.
The other 2 are gorgeous, right? So, and they're all like basically seducing him to sleep with them.
Yeah.
And then his wife kind of catches up with him, and he turns around and he says something along the lines of, I've got no fucking energy. I'm fucking these 3 fucking sisters, like, and it's so funny, man.
Yeah.
It's
I
it's
definitely
weird,
see I definitely see the comedy. It's
tongue in cheek. It's tongue in cheek, yeah.
It's more funny than anything. But I don't know. This would have worked more for me though. I think I told you this already. It would have worked more for me like when I was like a teenager, you know. Or when I was single, you know. This would have been right up my alley, you know, kind of thing. But
I'm trying to say the best way to describe it. It's like a fucking MTV like fucking music video in 90 minutes.
And I don't like that.
That's not for everyone. I admit.
Yeah, I don't like the music video movie look. You know, in a movie.
Yeah.
I like it in a music video. But
has Daniel Shine seen this? So if Daniel's still watching, I think he's still in the chat. What's his thoughts on the washing machine? I'd be interested to hear.
Let's see. We got hold on. Let me go ahead and catch the chat. Russell says, just popped in to say hello, Dirk, Darren, and chat.
Hey, awesome. Russell. Hey, things, man.
Yeah. What's going on, man? And by the way, Russell, we will be covering I Drink Your Blood on the Dead End Drive-In. So
yep.
We'll be coming up to that one pretty soon. I'd say in the next couple of weeks, it'll pop up on there. Let's see, or maybe next 3 weeks. I don't know. Dan know better than I would.
Yeah, we got a couple of weeks to come. Yeah.
And then Dan says, which film I stepped out with my dog? Oh, Washing Machine.
Yeah.
By Deodato. Yeah.
I'd love to know what Dan thinks actually, if he's seen it.
Right.
Russell,
so Russell says I did love his last Cannibal World. I do too, man. I really like
I do.
I like Jungle Holocaust. I really do, man. That's the other title for it. But
the only worst thing about Jungle Holocaust is that he made Cannibal Holocaust after it, and obviously it's a superior film. But as a standalone kind of film, Jungle Holocaust is decent. Yeah.
Dan says yes. Lauren has been busy, but it should drop soon. Yeah, I was just saying like when it'll probably be a few weeks, probably 3 or 4 weeks before I Drink Your Blood comes out on there.
Yeah.
Dan says I like it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a classic though.
It's not a classic though. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. He's probably the same as me then. He probably likes it. When I say I love it, I love it for I still would only give it like a 6 out of 10. I'm not stupid. I know it's not great.
Yeah. But I get it, man. I understand. Like, it's just, it's not what I think of when I think of Deodato. You know what I mean? It's like,
right. Yeah.
It's like he lowered his fucking standards big time. Oh,
God. Yeah. Easily. But
it's just not the same vibe. You know,
Another one I'd be interested in you seeing, Deodato, is Dial Help. You've not seen that one, I don't think, have you?
no, and I know Ballad and Blood. From what I hear from
It's
so many
bad.
people, has said
Yeah.
it's so fucking shitty, and that sucks, man. Like I just don't understand how this great fucking. He made all these great other. He's made some great films, but not ever like he might have the worst filmography.
That Ballad in Blood is an interesting one as well, though, because
Yeah.
that was based on the Amanda Knox case.
Okay.
So basically, there was this young girl got killed,
Yeah.
and they were like students in, I think it was in Italy. I'm trying to think now where they based Torso, the town where they based Torso in, and it was pretty much based on that case. And I've heard so many bad things about it, but I'd be up for doing it if ever we get down the line. Leave it a year or two, whatever, or when we get back to Deodato, we can.
I definitely want to cover Jungle Holocaust and Cut and Run.
Yeah, so we'll definitely do them two maybe on the next time we do Deodato.
Yeah.
But then we could throw in Dial Help if you want, and then
Yeah. Dan says Ballad and Blood isn't good, but there's a ton of quality eye candy in it. Okay.
Well, that's good enough for me, man.
Right.
I know a lot of people wouldn't say that, but yeah, I can.
Yeah.
Case in point being this one, there's loads of eye candy.
Yeah, it's just so I don't know, man. I don't know.
I wonder if Steve has seen this.
I don't know.
I wonder if he. That's a Steve film, I think. I think you would like that.
Definitely a Steve film. Yeah.
Sorry, Dirk. Was I going to cut you off?
No, you're good, man. No, you're good. All right, go ahead. Like, I don't know where else you want to go with the film, but
I think we pretty much I don't want to, like you say, I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's
not many people have seen it. I would think
convoluted. The only thing I've got is it was called Fortis Mortel, and it was based on a controversial play, La Lavatori by Luigi Spagno, which was basically forbidden for minors when that was released. Filmed in Budapest, it didn't find distribution in Italy. This was also kind of resigned to being like a TV movie, like you said.
It looks like that too. It really does. Like
and that's literally what the only thing I got. I did actually put down. I liked Philip Cairo as the inspector. I did actually think he did a good job. But there's only so much he can do. There's not a lot to his character, to be honest.
He does okay, but he's kind of like a one note kind of actor, though.
Yeah, you can see why he didn't go on and do bigger things. But no, 6 out of 10. I think you could do a lot worse. Obviously, Dirk feels different.
Yeah.
I'll still give it a 3. It out, though.
I'll still give it a 3.5.
Okay, yeah.
I give it a 3.5 because, like, it did have me interested. I was laughing. I was entertained, like at least halfway, and then something happens and it changed on me, and I was like, "Fuck, man!" It's like what I wanted it to be. It wasn't, because I thought we were fucking going.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I thought we were going a certain direction because I was like, "Okay, we're gonna go cheese sleaze shit. Let's at least do this one thing," but it didn't do it. So
right, yeah.
But anyway, that's why kind of disappointed me a little. I was kind of thinking like I said,
no, it's good to have different opinions,
Right.
Like, that's
but I'll give the gore. It's got great gore in it. The acting's not very good. You can kind of
Did you like the Simonetti score though?
Yeah, the score is good.
It's really good.
The production value is not very great. Not great at all.
No.
But the gore is good. I'll give that. And the acting's not good.
The acting's bad.
The cinematography's questionable. Like, I don't know. There's some bad thing. It's more bad. The bad outweighs the good for me anyway. But
no, that's fair. I would never argue that. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, people, if you're in the chat and you want to do something over
next
week.
I mean, I didn't know it was going to go this long, but we should have known. And we're talking about 2 fucking great films.
Yeah, I mean, I apologize if it's gone too long for the viewers, but no, we're passionate.
No, man. I mean, I think we put a lot of good stuff out there that maybe people didn't know. Hopefully, let us know in
Hopefully,
the
yeah.
comments.
Yeah, hopefully people like it, and yeah, just give
Let
us
us know in
like
the comments,
recommendations and
you know?
shit. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below, unless you're a troll, and then I ain't even gonna acknowledge that shit. I don't play that shit. I don't even acknowledge trolls. It's like, we had a couple, and it is what it is. But
I
it's
mean,
funny.
with
But
trolls, I just like you
I
gotta
don't
take
entertain
it.
that
You
shit.
gotta take it as a compliment because they're
Yeah,
obviously pissed off with you in some way.
they're
So you're
taking
obviously doing something right.
they're taking the time out of their day to let you know how shitty you are or whatever. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool. Hell yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that shit. But yeah. But we love our haters too. So I
Exactly.
didn't even
But
think
like,
we'd ever have any haters. Fuck,
no, I
It's
mean, I
fun.
didn't even think we'd have any likers as well. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys are great in the chats and like,
Everybody's been killing it, man. We've had
oh man, comments
a
we've been
good.
getting. Yeah.
It's been around 10 people all night, man. So that's pretty solid for us, But
Yeah, you guys are what make these, why we do these shows, man. Just the interaction and all that.
right.
Yeah, and we're trying to get out, a lot of these films as well. We want people to check out and really, get people more into this type of genre, like Italian, films.
But yeah, man, I guess we're gonna get out of here. Dan says, "Great show, guys. Man, I appreciate it.
Cheers, Dan.
Great stream, gents." From Chris.
Cheers, Chris.
Hell yeah. Wild Wrangler says, "Never seen Washing Machine." Okay. Well, be warned. Be warned, and don't watch it. Don't watch it around children.
No.
Chris says, "Take a shot at the Kings. You best not miss." Yeah.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that, man. Russell says, "Great stream as always."
Cheers, Russell. Thanks, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And thanks for everybody hitting the like button. Think about subscribing if you're just tuning in. Like I said, we got other things coming up. We haven't locked in what we're doing next, but we'll discuss it and figure it out. And we'll be back next Saturday or Sunday, one of the two.
Yeah.
But y'all have a great week. And we got Fat Pig the Conqueror. Okay. Good night, guys. Gonna check out the washing machine soon. Cool.
Yeah. Don't blame me on that one though. But yeah. Let us know what you think next stream. Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Thanks, everybody, once again, and have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.
Damn it, my bad. All right.
John, I want this material burned. All of it.
I wonder who the real cannibals are.